Good morning, everybody.
Buenos días, bienvenidos a la ciudad de Los Ángeles, al ayuntamiento, al ayuntamiento de Los Ángeles. Tenemos 5 representantes. Gracias por estar a tiempo, los concejales presentes en el ayuntamiento. Solo necesitamos 10 miembros para completar el foro, por lo tanto les estoy pidiendo al resto de los miembros quienes tienen que estar en el ayuntamiento: señor Hansen, señor Galante, señor García, señor Hunt, señor Holder, señor Perry, Reyes, Willie Thomas y señor Weiss. Si están en el edificio, por favor de pasar al ayuntamiento, a la sala, para empezar la reunión. I'm sorry about this. I have no idea. You're very welcome. You know what? I don't know who does this. I do. My colleagues, I guess, don't. Here, hold on. Maybe it's easier for one of them. Here's 3. How many more do you need? I always do, trust me. I just put them together. Because you know, I always put them together. And we just don't just put it on.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Damas y caballeros, me da un gran placer presentarles. Ustedes vieron una banda, un mariachi, un grupo de mariachis para el Día de las Madres, y se llaman Mariachi Reina de Los Ángeles y van a tocar una canción para ustedes esta mañana. Un gran aplauso, por favor.
good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Buenos días.
And welcome to our
Bienvenidos
new
a
introductions for every
nuevas
Friday for the meetings
introducciones
of the
para
Los
todos los
Angeles
días
City
para reuniones
Council.
del Concilio de la
We're
Ciudad de
actually
Los
very
Ángeles.
privileged today to have
Es un gran privilegio
very special
tener
mariachi with us
un
celebrating
mariachi muy
Mother's Day,
especial celebrando el Día de
which
las
will be this
Madres.
Sunday,
Se llevará a cabo este
recognized in the United
domingo,
States, but in many Latin
reconocido en
American
Estados Unidos,
countries,
en muchos
Mother's
países
Day is always
latinoamericanos.
recognized on May
Este
10th,
día siempre es reconocido
regardless
por
of
el
which
10
day
de
of the week that it
mayo,
falls.
no
So today being Friday
importante
and May
donde
10th,
qué
we're
día
starting our
caiga.
Mother's Day
Por lo
celebration
tanto,
a
hoy
little bit
siendo el
early.
10 de mayo empezaremos la
Welcome
celebración
to
del Día de
members
las
of the
Madres un
public
poco
who are
más
here, to
temprano.
City Hall,
Bienvenidos a todos los miembros del
to
público
council chambers, and to the meeting
por
of the Los
visitarnos hoy en
Angeles
el
City
ayuntamiento
Council.
y a la ciudad del
I know we have at least one more
ayuntamiento.
song
Tenemos
ready for
una
us, but let's
canción más
quickly
para
call
nosotros,
the
pero
meeting to
rápidamente
order.
empezaremos
Mr.
esta
Clerk, please
sesión.
call the roll,
Actuario,
please.
tome
Glander,
lista.
Garcetti, Gruel, Hahn, Holden, Labange, Miss Kathy, Pacheco, Perry, Reyes, Ridley, Thomas, Weiss, Steiner, Padilla, 10 members present, and a
10
quorum,
miembros
Mr.
están
President.
presentes, el quórum está
Thank you very
completo.
much.
Muchas gracias.
The City Council does meet every Tuesday, Wednesday,
El
and Friday
concilio,
at 10 a.m.
la reunión del concilio se
Usually here
reúne
in
los
council
martes, los
chambers, and we
miércoles
always
y
invite
los
the
viernes
public
aquí en el Concilio de la
to
Ciudad.
attend and
El
participate
público
in
siempre
council
es bienvenido
meetings.
para
We can
presentar
also be viewed
y
live from home
visitarnos
on your cable station, Channel
en este
35.
salón.
We can be
También
viewed
puede
live
vernos
via
por
webcast from
televisión
the
en el
city's
canal
homepage or
35 y
heard via
también a través
council
de la
phone.
página
Now,
internet
today being Friday, as is
también de
customary, we do
teléfono.
have a number
Hoy
of special
es
presentations and
normal tener varias
recognitions.
representaciones y
Before we begin with
reconocimientos
the
antes de
council
empezar
agenda,
con la agenda
we do
el
have
viernes. Todos
at
los
least
viernes
one more song that I know
lleva a cabo. Tenemos una
So
canción
I'll turn
más,
it back
creo yo,
over
así es
to
que
the
de nuevo
mariachi for a few
al
minutes,
mariachi unos
and
cuantos
then we'll
minutos más
continue
para una
with
canción
presentations.
adicional. Continuaremos después con, con más presentaciones.
Yo tenía mi cascabel en una cinta morada, en una cinta morada. Yo tenía mi cascabel, en una cinta morada, en una cinta morada. Yo tenía mi cascabel. Y como era de europeo, se lo di a mi prenda amada, para que jugara con él allá por la madrugada. Anoche por la ventana platicando con mi amor, platicando con mi amor. Anoche por la ventana, platicando con mi amor, platicando con mi amor. Anoche por la ventana me pidió que le cantara. Me pidió que le cantara el cascabel por menor y que no me dilatara, me lo pedía de favor. Ay, cómo resumba y suena. Ay, cómo resumba y suena, resumba y va resumbando, resumba y va resumbando mi cascabel. En la
The chair recognizes for
El
a
presidente
solo
reconoce para
performance
una presentación
Mr. Garcetti.
individual del señor Garcetti.
I won't subject everybody to my singing this morning.
No
Buenos días.
haré que todos,
Hoy es el 10 de mayo,
se
el día de
sometan a oír
las
escuchar mi
madres en
canción,
Latinoamérica.
o
Hoy vamos a celebrar
través
este
de mi
día
voz.
muy especial con música tradicional de México. Tenemos un gran honor de tener con nosotros un grupo muy especial, el mariachi femenino Mariachi Reina de Los Ángeles. Good morning. The May 10th
Buenos
is
días, el 10 de
traditionally
mayo
Mother's Day in Latin
tradicionalmente es el Día
America.
de las
And
Madres
so we're
para
celebrating today
Latinoamérica.
with
Estamos
an
celebrando
all-female
hoy
mariachi
con
band,
un mariachi
Mariachi Reina de Los
mujeres, el
Ángeles.
Mariachi Reina de Los Ángeles.
As we all know, we'll be
Como todos
celebrating
sabemos,
Mother's Day
estaremos
this
celebrando el
weekend.
Día de las Madres
Mom, in case you're
fin de
watching
semana.
on
Madre, si
Channel
nos estás
35, I
viendo en
love
el
you
canal
very much. Happy
35,
Mother's
te quiero
Day.
mucho,
Look
feliz
forward to
Día
seeing
de
you on
las Madres.
Sunday.
Y espero
But this
verte el
mariachi
domingo, pero
group,
este
as you
grupo de
heard the
mariachis,
talents
como usted
already,
escuchó el talento
is
ya,
already becoming world famous. The group was formed by Don Jose Hernandez, the founder, many of you know, Mariachi Sol de Mexico, one of the most famous mariachi bands. And Don Jose's daughter, Yolanda Hernandez, is the manager. She couldn't make it today with us. But I want to thank all the players for being here today, for this incredible band, for kicking off Mother's Day, and I wanted to hand certificates of appreciation to you for playing today to the city of Los Angeles. So, Silvia Hinojosa,
Silvia Hinojosa,
Kathy Baeza,
Kathy Baeza,
Laura Peña,
Laura Peña,
Ruby Gutierrez,
Ruby Gutiérrez,
Stephanie Gomez,
Stephanie Gomez,
Monica Fogelquist,
Mónica Fogues,
Luisa Fregoso,
Luisa Fregoso,
Carla Tovar,
Paula Tovar,
Mariana Nanes,
Mariana Nanes,
Judith Kamel,
Judith Kamel,
Cindy Raefler,
Cindy Rafer,
Laura Cordova,
Laura Córdoba,
not here, and also Leticia Olmos couldn't be here today because she's on her way to becoming a new mommy. Thank you all very much. Really loved having you, and happy Mother's Day.
Ms. Galanter?
y feliz Día de las Madres. Señora Galante, concejala.
And do you realize they didn't
dan
used to
cuenta
let
que no-
women in mariachi bands?
Antes no dejaban tocar a
Think
las
what we've been
mujeres
missing all these years.
dentro de los grupos de mariachi. Piensen en lo que nos...
Thank you very much. Next for a presentation,
Ahora, para una
the chair
presentación,
recognizes
el
Ms.
presidente reconoce a
Misikowski
la
to be
señora
joined.
Misikowski
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to council chambers,
Otra vez quiero dar la
the mayor of the
bienvenida
great city of
al
Los
alcalde de la
Angeles,
ciudad de
Mayor
Los
James
Ángeles,
K.
al
Hahn.
alcalde Hahn. Una bienvenida al alcalde de la ciudad de Los Ángeles, por favor.
Thank you, Mr. President. If I could have the mayor join us here for this beginning of a wonderful day. I think it's great when we see the council chambers so filled with people, and I think it's even nicer when they're filled with people largely here to help us honor and recognize so many other of our citizens in the city and our employees in the city who are doing good works and are here to be honored today. That brings out the people, and it's a joyous day. I would like to have join me right now, joining us with Mayor Mary Strobel. If Mary would come up. And we are joined by the City Attorney's Office, the Chief of Staff, the City
El
Attorney,
jefe de
Terry Bauer.
personal y del fiscal.
Mary is a very,
Del fiscal
very
es Terry
special
Bauer.
person
Mary es una
and a
persona
very
muy especial,
extraordinary
una persona
city employee.
empleada
Mary has been
extraordinaria.
appointed
Mary
by Governor
ha sido
Davis
nombrada por el
to be a
gobernador
judge
Davis,
in
que
the state of
sea
California.
juez del estado de California.
And the only sad part about
La
that
única
is that we are going to be losing her
sobre eso es que
incredible
vamos a
services here
perder
in the
sus
city
grandes
of Los
servicios aquí en la ciudad de Los
Angeles. Mary has only been with the
Mary
city for a
solamente
short
estaba con la
time,
ciudad por poco
but she
tiempo, pero
became
ella
into the city's radar screen during the Charter
empezó
Commission process.
con
One of the charter
nosotros durante el
commissions
proceso
hired
del
Mary to help
mandato,
their work as a citizens group in presenting a charter for our citizens to look at.
mandato, la contrató ella
And
para que
actually, I
ella
think Mary
repasara
and her last
este
name
mandato de manera legal y
became a
creo que
verb.
Mary, su
The Charter
apellido
Commission
se hizo un
president
verbo,
of the
la
Charter Commission
presidente
chair,
del
Joe
mandato,
Mandel, as they
Joe
would go over
Mandel,
night after night after night
repasaban
of
este mandato
process and
día tras
language
día,
and
noche tras noche de
debate and
proceso,
consideration.
del
They'd come
verbaje,
to some
de
agreement that
debate,
the
de
commission
consideración,
thought they
llegaban a
had,
un
and they'd say,
acuerdo
Mary,
y el
now
comisionado
go
decía esto, Mary,
strobelize
ahora
it.
go,
Meaning,
ve
go put
a
into words that are
strobelize it. En otras
comprehensible,
palabras,
understandable,
escríbelo de
clear
manera
and
que sea
concise for
claro,
the charter
conciso
language.
y que pueda
Mary did
entender
that,
la
and
persona
then
que lo
when the
lea.
Charter
Mary lo
Commission's
hizo
work
y
was
cuando
done,
se terminó este
our then
trabajo en la
city
comisión,
attorney,
luego el
James
fiscal,
Hahn,
James
was
Hahn,
very aware
en
of
ese
this
entonces
very
era
special
James Hahn,
talent that Mary
sabía
had,
del gran
and
talento
said,
que
we
tenía
aren't going to
Mary,
let
dijo, no
her
vamos a
stay out there
dejar
in the
que
private
ella
sector. We're going to bring her into the
se
city
vaya, por lo
attorney's
tanto queremos
office.
que ella
And there
empiece
she has
con
served
nosotros
most capably,
en la
most
oficina del
ably.
fiscal y
And
desde ese
I
entonces
see
ella
here
con
today,
mucho talento
many members
y
of
veo
the
yo
city
que muchos
attorney's
miembros
staff were here
del
to
personal de la
join in
fiscalía
this
están
day of
aquí para
recognition and to honor
unirse con
her.
nosotros para reconocerle, para honrar.
Mary called me a little
Mary
bit
me llamó
ago
hace
and said
poco
she was
tiempo y me dijo
having her name thrown into the hat
for
que ese nombre
consideration
iba a
in the
estar
governor's
incluido para
office
ser
to
considerado
become a
por la oficina del
judge,
gobernador
and asked if I would
para
write
ser
a letter
nombrada
of
como juez y
recommendation.
me pidió
I
si
was
podía
very, very
escribir una
happy
carta
to
de
do
recomendación.
that.
Yo con mucho
But as
gusto lo
many
hice,
of you may
pero
know,
como muchos de ustedes ya
Governor
saben,
Davis's appointment secretary,
la
the
secretaria de
person who
nombramiento del
screens
gobernador Davis, la
all these
persona que
recommendations,
repasa todas esas
is Bert
recomendaciones,
Pines,
es Bert
a former
Pines,
city attorney. And during
un
Bert
previo
Pines'
fiscal
city
de esta
attorney
ciudad.
reign, there were any number
En
of
ese entonces
people that he
habían
brought
varias
into the city
personas
attorney's
que él
office who later
invitó
became judges.
para ser
He had
miembros
an
de la ciudad
incredible track
de la
record
Fiscalía de la ciudad.
very, very talented people
Él
who
tenía
then
un
went on
récord
to great
de
things
escoger a
as
personas
judges in the state.
extraordinarias,
So
quienes
when I
después
wrote that
hicieron
letter to
jueces en el
Bert,
estado. Cuando escribí esta
asking him to
carta a
consider
Bert,
Mary,
pidiéndole
I
que
put a little
considerara a
PS on
Mary,
it. I
puse
said,
una
Bert,
nota al final. Le dije,
Mary
Bert,
is a
Mary
Bert Pines kind of person.
es una
She's the kind of
persona,
person
es
who
una
you would
tipo de
have hired
persona que
to
usted hubiera
elevate the
contratado para
professional stature
fomentar
of the city
el
attorney's
nivel
office.
profesional de la
And I don't know if
oficina
that
fiscal
clinched
de
it, but
Los
I know
Ángeles.
that
No sé
it
si
got
eso
his
es lo
attention.
eso es lo que le llamó
In
la
any
atención, pero
case,
creo que sí lo hizo. De
We are
todas
here
maneras, estamos
today,
aquí hoy
signed by the mayor,
junto con el
city
alcalde,
Attorney and all the members
el
of the
miembro de la
council
fiscal y todos los miembros del
to
ayuntamiento para
recognize this
reconocer
incredible
esta
opportunity in Mary's
gran
career
oportunidad en la
and to
carrera de Mary,
congratulate
para
her upon her
felicitarla
appointment
por su
to the Superior
nombramiento
Court for the County of Los
al Tribunal
Angeles
Superior
and thank her for
del Condado de
her
Los
incredible
Ángeles
work
y darle las gracias por su gran
and
trabajo
service to the people of Los
y por el
Angeles.
servicio
And
a
our
la
only
ciudad de Los
regret is she has
Ángeles.
been
Lo único que
incredible right now in working
siento
on
es que ella
the
ha sido muy
consideration at
increíble
LAFCO
considerando
for the issue of secession and reorganization. And a lot of those
increíble,
documents
su
that you
trabajo ha sido
see and the
increíble
thought that you see that goes into it and the legal
dentro
questions
del
well
proceso que está
framed
llevando a cabo de
are
la
part of Mary's
división
work with her
del
great
Valle
partner,
con
the City
en la
Attorney's
ciudad de
Office,
Los Ángeles,
Fred
pero
Merkin.
ella ha
So
sido
Mary, on behalf
fue
of
una
all
gran
of us,
parte y es una gran
congratulations,
persona y gran
and
profesional
go
de
on
parte de
and do
todos
other
nosotros.
great things.
Felicitaciones y adelante con tu carrera, hacer grandes cosas.
I'm sure the mayor
Estoy
and
segura que el
city attorney's
alcalde y
office
la
have
oficina del
something they'd
fiscal
like to
también
say
les
as well.
gustaría decir algo sobre ella también.
Mr. President, members
Señor
of the
presidente,
council, I'm
miembros del
so
concilio,
pleased to
me
see
da
that
mucho gusto
Mary Strobel will
ver que
now
Mary Strobel ahora
be a member of
será
the
miembro
judiciary of the state of California.
del Departamento
I was very
Judicial del
impressed
Estado de
with her work,
California.
as
Su trabajo
Councilwoman
es muy
Miskowski pointed
impresionante, tal como lo
out,
indicó
working
la
with
concejala
the
Miskowski,
Charter Commission,
trabajando
working
con
on
la
charter
Comisión de
reform,
Mandato, con la
and
reforma del
I was very
mandato.
pleased that she
Me dio
agreed
mucho gusto
to
que
work in the city
estuvo de
attorney's
acuerdo de
office
trabajar
after we
con la
got
Fiscalía
that
de
charter
la
on its way.
municipal y para
I was pleased because I wanted to make sure I had somebody who knew what
con
they
el proceso
meant
del mandato y
when
me
they
da
wrote
mucho
down all that
gusto
stuff. And so, Mary,
ver que
you were
alguien sabía
there.
lo que
What
el
did they
significado
mean?
de
And
estas
so as
verbaje en
we got off
este
the
mandato de
ground,
ley y al empezar este
the
proceso,
charter was one thing, but as
el
you know,
mandato
we had
era
to
un
prepare
proceso, pero también
hundreds of
tenemos que preparar
ordinances to
cientos
implement that
de
city charter,
ordenanzas
to
para
revise
implementar
all the different parts of the city code that were based on the earlier city charter.
esta
So
ordenanza
it was
muchos códigos, incluso el
absolutely
mandato, por lo
the
tanto,
greatest thing in the
fue
world to have
lo
Mary
mejor del
there
mundo haber
helping us
tenido a
implement this
Mary
new charter, which has really
asistiéndonos a
benefited the
implementar
people
ese
of the
nuevo
city of Los
mandato, el
Angeles.
cual
So
ha
we're very
beneficiado
grateful
muchísimo
for
al
her
pueblo
work
de
in the
Los
city
Ángeles.
attorney's
Por lo
office,
tanto, nos da mucho
I
gusto
think
por todo
that
su trabajo que ella ha llevado
people
a
are
cabo
really
en Los
looking
Ángeles.
for judges
Yo
who
sé
not
que
only
las personas
know the law,
buscan
but are great
a
human beings
personas
as
para
well,
ser jueces que
because
no
so many
solamente saben la ley, pero
different
que
parts
son
of
grandes
human life
seres humanos
come
también,
into
porque
a courtroom.
muchas
And I think
calidades de la
that Mary
vida
Strobel
humana
is just an
se
outstanding human
incluye
being
dentro de
as
una
well as being
sala
a
de
top legal
tribunal.
mind, and I know
Ella
you'll
no
be a great
solamente ella
judge.
tiene
So
una gran
I'm
mente
very
legal y yo
pleased,
sé que ella
although
será una
sad
gran
that she's leaving
juez.
the city,
Me da
I think it's
tristeza que
great
se
for the
va de la
people
ciudad, pero creo que es
of
muy lindo
Los
para el
Angeles, the people
pueblo
of
de Los
California,
Ángeles y para el
that you'll be
pueblo
on
de
the bench.
California que ella va a ser ahora jueza.
Before we begin,
Antes de empezar,
Chair recognizes Mr.
el
Reyes.
presidente reconoce al concejal Reyes.
Go ahead.
On behalf of Rocky Delgadillo and the entire city attorney's office, I want to offer my congratulations to Mary. She is just a phenomenal attorney. It's really even difficult to articulate how important she was to our office. It is going to be very difficult to fill her shoes because now when we say please Strobelize it, we don't have the original Strobel there to do it. But she is always prompt
Ella
She was
siempre
meticulous in her
estaba lista,
preparation,
ella
and most
era
importantly
muy
for a deputy
organizada
city attorney,
y
she was
mucho más
always
importante para un
accurate.
fiscal de la ciudad siempre
I
estuvo
was just
exacta.
amazed at her productivity and her ability
Sorprendía
to
su
find
productividad y su
cases
habilidad
that
de
had been hidden
encontrar
for
casos que habían
decades
estado
to illustrate important
escondidos
points
por
and give us a legal
muchísimos
foundation
años,
for many of
encontrarlos
the
y así
things
darnos una fundación legal
that
para
the council
muchas
tries
cosas
to
que el
do and
Concilio
the things
trata de
we do to
hacer
make it a better
y lo que
city.
tratamos de hacer para
So
la ciudad.
we wish her the best of
Le
luck.
deseamos la mejor
I know
suerte.
she's going to
Yo
be
sé
an
que ella
absolutely terrific
va a
judge.
ser una juez
And as we remind all deputy city attorneys
muy apta
who
y sabemos como
go
muchos
onto
de
the
los
bench, please don't
fiscales
forget your roots.
municipal que pasan a ser jueces, por favor no olviden de dónde empezaron.
Mr. Reyes.
Council President, colleagues, I just
Señor
rise,
Reyes, concejales,
congratulate.
me pongo de pie para
you on this
felicitarle
promotion.
a usted en
I know for a
esta
fact, we're working with our
fomentación. Yo
staff,
sé,
you
trabajando
are
con
lead,
nuestro personal,
let's say this steward, Proposition K. Without Proposition K, today we wouldn't have the
sin
opportunities we
usted
have
no hubiéramos
to
tenido las
build up
oportunidades que
pocket
hemos tenido
parks,
para
all of our green space, and all the great programs that
crear
come from
todos
those
los lugares
resources. I want to
verdes,
thank
por
you so
programas
much
que
for the future generations of our children. Thank you.
resultaron por sus esfuerzos. Gracias por lo que ha hecho, gracias por el esfuerzo para la parte con los niños en la ciudad de Los Ángeles.
I want to thank Mayor Hahn, who hired me when he was city attorney, and thank the city attorney's office and the members of the council, especially Councilmember Misikowski, for this really wonderful honor and recognition. I feel very fortunate to have worked for the city of Los Angeles, and the main reason is because of the terrific people that I've had the privilege to work with. Having worked on the charter reform work and also worked in the city attorney's office principally on issues related to secession, I have had an opportunity to work with and meet people in almost every department of the city and hear them talk about their work. And what I hear is a pride in their work, and what I see is a dedication to the city and to the serving the citizens of the city. And that's certainly what I saw in the city attorney's office with the attorneys and support staff. They're fine municipal lawyers and fine human beings who are very dedicated to the city and always had the best interests of the city as their guiding principle. I also see that on the city council. Clearly, each member of the council really loves the city of Los Angeles, and that shows through in your work and how you work so hard to serve the interests of the people that you represent. So once again, I just want to thank you for the privilege of having worked with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, Chair recognizes Mr. Zine for a presentation.
Al concejal Zine para una presentación. They're not working?
Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues. I'm joined with our Honorable Mayor, James Hahn, and General Manager, City Personnel, the wonderful, talented Maggie Whalen. Thank you. We have, and we're honored to present the Career Service Awards. A number of departments are represented, and our mayor will read the individuals. We have presentations, and I will read a little bio on each of the recipients after the mayor makes the introduction, and they then come to the microphone. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Zine. This year, as you know, the Public Employees Roundtable is designated the week of May 6th through May 12th as Public Service Employees Recognition Week. I have the honor of proclaiming it as the Public Service Recognition Month. It's the month of May here in our city, and so we're pleased to take part in recognizing great public servants whose careers have demonstrated they really care about serving the people. And so this morning we're honoring 12 individuals who are exemplary public employees. Obviously there's
at least 30,000 more exemplary public service employees. These are individuals we think who deserve recognition, but they're representative of people every day who work hard for the people of Los Angeles. And as I call the name, first we'd ask you to come forward as Councilman Zine indicates the reason why we're recognizing you for your service. First, from the police department, Antonio Aspitia.
Antonio is a police officer 3 assigned to Rampart Community Police Station. For the past 9 years, Antonio has run the Rampart Community Police Station Jeopardy program. The Jeopardy program is designed as an intervention for teens prior to becoming delinquents. An intervention and crime prevention program, a very successful program. Its primary focus is on preventing family unit disintegration due to substance abuse, drug sales, gang involvement, teen pregnancies, and dropping out of school. And over the last 7 years, Antonio has been responsible for 226 Jeopardy parents who registered, actually voted, and he's worked with in excess of 2,000 families over the past 7 years. Antonio, congratulations to you.
Next, from the Recreation and Parks Department, Linda Barth.
Linda, Administrative Resources Division, Senior Management Analyst 2. Highlights of her many accomplishments include long-fought battles for the preservation and protection from proposed closure of some of the city's most valuable treasures, including Traveltown Museum, preventing commercialization of the Hollywood sign, continuing the mission of El Pueblo Museum despite a lack of budget funding, rescuing a collection of valuable movie costumes, identifying a proper venue which will house illegally seized ivory pieces confiscated by the U.S. Customs Service, restoring the aging Greek theater to its original condition, and saving the city $1 million by developing an in-house program for establishing work order system. So in addition to saving the city $1 million, you've done all those wonderful accomplishments. Thank you very much.
While they're taking the picture, Mr. Labange.
Mr. President, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Zine, Linda Barth is the driving force for the renovation of Traveltown and Griffith Park. She's driving those spikes hard to get that improvement at our great transportation museum for all the children of Los Angeles. Congratulations, Linda. Thank you.
Someone who I've come to know very well, who handled the whole move into the mayor's office following my election and the renovation of City Hall. Someone who has kept the mayor's office moving through 3 different mayors, Bella Cavalon.
Bella, Office of the Mayor, Administrative Assistant to the Mayor. Bella has worked in the offices of former mayors Bradley and Reardon, presently serves in the office of Mayor James Hahn. Bella organized and coordinated the entire move of the mayor's office from City Hall to City Hall East and its return to the facility we're in now, City Hall. All of this was accomplished the weekend before the inauguration of Mayor Hahn. Bella worked from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Friday to ensure that the move was smooth and successful. Excellent people skills. In addition, she is always willing to help out whenever the need arises. Congratulations to you.
Once again, Mr. Labange.
Yeah, Mr. President, I only do this because I happen to know a lot of city employees, but bless Bella for all the work she's done for this great city and all the people and all the mayors. Apaga Humaga Hapun Salama.
Another great employee from the city of Los Angeles who's done an excellent job, and I've seen Bob in always not some of the most pleasant of circumstances, but he's always, Johnny on the spot. He can do everything. He can build anything you need. He can coordinate anything you need. Bob Canfield from Emergency Preparedness Department.
Bob Canfield, Emergency Preparedness Department, Executive Office, Assistant General Manager. Bob Canfield has been dedicated to the City of Los Angeles for over 30 years. He was nominated for his strong leadership skills, specifically those demonstrated since September 11th. Mr. Canfield was most instrumental in pulling together and spearheading the Threat Preparedness Task Force. He leads, he directs, he encourages, he motivates, he gets things done. Thanks to Mr. Canfield's contributions, the City of Los Angeles is well prepared to handle any terrorist threat. And I must add that I worked with Bob Canfield, it doesn't mention here, a member of the Los Angeles Police Department, and he worked that wonderful organization for how many years? 23 years with the LAPD, and then went over to the current department. And his wife also works for the City of Los Angeles, and when an emergency arises, he gets his wife on the phone notifying the council members that we're going to activate the Emergency Operations Center. So congratulations to you, Bob, and also to your lovely wife, who's also a city employee.
Our great library department, Fontaine Holmes.
Fontaine Holmes, Los Angeles Public Library Department, Library Facilities Division, Division Librarian. Fontaine manages the largest library construction project in the nation. The $200 million infrastructure program calls for building 36 new library branches throughout the city as a result of her extraordinary skills and dedication. This massive project is on schedule and within budget. I want to state that again. Within budget. Fontaine does a wonderful job in that department, and she's not only a wonderful member of the city family, but she was successful in getting her boss nominated as the Librarian of the Year for the entire United States of America. I think she's probably here too. Susan Kent. Susan Kent, the Librarian of the Year, and probably due to your hard work for on her behalf. Congratulations.
Ella recibió el premio de la administradora de bibliotecas del año en toda la nación.
Get back. It's not your turn yet.
Fabi, no te toca. Estoy jugando contigo.
The next recipient of Career Service Award, Ernest Love, passed away last month, April 20th. Here to accept for Mr. Love is his son, Derek Love.
Ernest Love, who passed away, Los Angeles Public Library Department Security Division Principal Security Officer for 11 years. Chief Love served as the Chief of the Security Division of the Los Angeles Public Library. His responsibilities included management of 50-member security force and the oversight of the 24-hour security operations of the Richard Burton Central Library and 67 branched libraries throughout the city of Los Angeles. Chief Love revolutionized security sections for the library. May he rest in peace, and on his behalf, you presented this reward.
Presenta a usted este premio para su padre. Que descanse en paz. I'm sorry, I'm trying.
From the Fire Department, we're pleased to present the Career Service Award to Loc No.
Para Loc No.
Los Angeles Fire Department Management Information Systems Section Senior Systems Analyst 1 serves as the primary software and application developer for the Los Angeles City Fire Department, exemplifies dedication to duty and will sacrifice when necessary to successful implementation of an application. Congratulations to you.
De un sistema de computarización. Felicitaciones.
And we're joined by our fire chief.
También el jefe del Departamento de Bomberos. Está presente.
Yeah, it's great to see our fire chief can run that quickly. Stays in great shape, doesn't he? Response time, that's what it's all about. The following are recognized for performing service beyond the call of duty to persons whose life, safety, or health was in jeopardy. And from the City Employment and Retirement System, Leticia Fuentes and Richard Williams, you come forward, and Richard Stansel from the Bureau of Street Services.
Los Angeles City Employee Retirement System Communications Division Clerk Typist, and Richard, Los Angeles City Employees Retirement System, currently the Department of Building and Safety Communications Division Principal Clerk. On April 5th, 2001, these two dedicated employees were working in the Lacers call center when at approximately 10:30 a.m., Ms. Fuentes received a call from a member who was extremely upset and threatening suicide due to a domestic situation. The member indicated he was calling from his garage and that he had a gun. Mr. Fuentes' supervisor, Mr. Williams, guided and supported her through the ordeal and served as the go-between with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. 20 minutes after the incident call, Sheriff's Department called back to advise Mr. Williams that they were outside of the caller's home. The member was taken into custody of that incident. Ms. Fuentes and Mr. Williams are to be commended for their incredible professionalism and poise during an extremely difficult and volatile situation. Their efforts likely saved a life. Congratulations to you both. Maggie pointed out I forgot someone. Who was that, Maggie?
¿Quién me faltó?
Richard Stansel, Public Works Bureau of Street Services, Street Cleaning and Maintenance Division, motor sweeper operator. On January 12, 2001, Mr. Stansel was sweeping his assigned route in the West Valley along Walton Street and Edward Avenue. He observed a motorhome having mechanical problems and suddenly erupt in flames due to a broken fuel line. He rushed to assist a woman whose hair was on fire out of the burning vehicle. Mr. Stansel successfully led her to safety and provided aid. He then retrieved a fire extinguisher from his sweeper and put out the fire in the motorhome and the burning fuel that had spread under a second vehicle. The fire department arrived just as the fire had been extinguished. Fire department officials at the scene commended Mr. Stansel quick thinking and actions that prevented much more serious injuries and property damage. It was noted that the motorhome gas stove could have easily exploded, leading to a major incident. Mr. Stansel then resumed his scheduled route, completing it on schedule. So those people are happy their streets are now clean, right? Mr. Stansel's selfishness and heroic action clearly displayed performance of service beyond the call of duty for the citizens of the city of Los Angeles. You sound like you make a good firefighter, Richard. Congratulations. Thank you.
We have a few more, Dennis. For another category, the contribution to the body of knowledge in an area of city service, we want to recognize from the Bureau of Engineering, Stanley Morimoto.
Stan is Public Works Bureau of Engineering, Special Projects Division Principal Civil Engineer, involved in the Hyperion Water Treatment Plant. He was the project manager and the lead civil engineer on the Tillman Water Reclamation Plant Phase 2 expansion, the Central Library Restoration and Expansion Project, the City Hall Seismic Rehabilitation Project. Wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here right now. This latter project, with a budget of $299 million, was completed in 2001. These have been among the largest and most complex construction projects to engage the Bureau of Engineering in the past 20 years. Congratulations for your fine work.
Mr. President, all the great work that Stan has done, his greatest is yet to come with the renovation of the Griffith Observatory.
Más extraordinario con la renovación del observatorio del Parque Griffith Park. Tenemos uno más, pero no está presente.
And finally, recognizing Officer William Snowden of Los Angeles Police Department for a category when you receive recognition from the department or other agencies and organizations for services rendered. Unfortunately, he can't be here today, but we want to thank all the great city employees and all the friends and supporters and family, Commissioner Karen Chappelle, who's here, all of us who have been part of this recognition ceremony today. And you,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, colleagues. And on behalf of the fine city workforce, let's hear it for all those fine dedicated city employees. Thank you.
al pueblo de Los Ángeles.
Mr. Zine. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Gracias, señor
The
alcalde.
chair recognizes Mr.
Ahora
Garcetti
presidente
for an
reconoce
additional
al concejal
presentation.
Garcetti para una presentación adicional.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Gracias, señor presidente.
Colleagues, members of the
Colegas,
public,
miembros del público,
I'm proud to recognize
me
the
da
first
mucho gusto
students from
reconocer
my
a los
district
primeros
to
estudiantes de mi
complete
distrito, los
the
primeros
Summer
estudiantes que
Youth Pilot
terminaron
Program. And I'd like Tom
el
LaBonge to come
programa
up
de
here and join me
jóvenes. Quiero
because
que
they're
Tom LaBonge pase acá,
soon-to-be graduates of
porque se
Marshall High, just
graduará
like
muy pronto de
Tom.
Marshall
I'm particularly proud of this
High,
program because
como
it has
Tom
created
LaBonge. Me da
community
mucho orgullo
partnerships
por
that have
este
brought
programa
together my
porque ha
office,
creado
the city's Information
sociedades en la
Technology
comunidad,
Agency,
incluyendo mi
UCLA's
oficina,
Community-Based Learning Program,
el
and
programa de
Marshall High School
aprendizaje
to
de
take
UCLA
leadership
y la
on helping our
preparatoria
youth
Marshall,
gain necessary
tomando
job
liderazgo
experience
para ayudarle a
and
nuestros
skills.
miembros de la comunidad,
The
a los
program is an
jóvenes,
8-week paid internship
recibir
commitment during the student school break.
aptitudes
It places
de
participants in
trabajo
professional
para
work
conseguir mejor
situations
empleado.
with academic and career preparation, tutoring,
Este programa
work experience, and the
incluye
possibility of permanent full-time
aprendizaje
city employment.
de
Student
carreras
internship
y
assignments with ITA
también
included
académicos.
opportunities in
Estos
web
incluyen
development, looking at our
oportunidades en
webpage,
desarrollar
media
páginas de
broadcasting, and
internet,
computer engineering.
medios de
As
comunicación
an example of the new skills the
ingeniería
students have
computarizada.
learned, they have a
Ellos han
video that they'd like
aprendido,
to share
tienen
with
un
us.
video de
We're
lo que han
ready with it?
aprendido. Estamos preparados.
The video, okay. The entire
Con la
video
cinta,
production consists
la
of filming and
producción de
editing
esta
work
cinta
solely produced by
incluye
students and features them.
trabajo que
Can we
esos
please roll the
estudiantes
video?
hicieron. ¿Podemos empezar la cinta? Esa es la cinta que esos estudiantes han preparado como parte de este aprendizaje, de este programa.
LH36 is it is a great experience for an intern to be at.
Everybody's here has been wonderful, and it's been a wonderful experience. And I recommend this place for anybody who's interested in interning.
Yeah, I've actually got probably a taste of all the equipment that they have, from the switching boards to the editing, which I mainly do Final Cut Pro. They have that here, and students can practice on that.
And when I started, I was pretty happy that I decided to stick with 36. I had a great time working there. The people, the staff, they were all amazing. I learned a lot of new things, working with the camera, interviewing people, fixing the lightings, and just, editing, especially editing with the Final Cut Pro. I had a great time doing that. I really like that.
It's really amazing how you can do so much stuff and edit so many things that just with the computer. I really like the people that I worked with. It was very, I learned a lot from them since they were adults, and it was actually very good to work for a summer job, and I really enjoyed every time of it. It was interesting coming to work every day and doing different things and making your own talk show, which was really cool.
It's been a great hands-on experience because I actually got to go on shoots and learn from audio and how to set up a camera, even as a PA. And I got to learn how all the setting was done when you're actually going out there and shooting.
The thing that I liked the most was working with the people, because they taught me a lot of things like I didn't know before about television, productions, everything, So it was a real fun experience for me for working Channel 36.
Yes, I would like to one day become a writer, and doing this internship has made me even more focused on what I want to do.
I really want to be an actor, either in television shows or movies or commercials. But the whole idea is to, get a background and stuff. So that's basically what I'm trying to do, is get background in production, cameras. Maybe I can be a cameraman or a director of a TV show.
I just learned to be a different person as in what I used to be. I just know more things that other people don't know. As in, when I watch TV, I catch a lot of the things and I know how they're done and what they've used to, make what they've made. It's just really amazing.
That video was entirely Every student conceived and produced. It's going to be recruiting the next generation of students that are going to be part of the internship program, and it's something that we will see some of these faces coming back, no doubt, as part of the city family. So I'd like to recognize the folks that made this possible. First, I'm going to actually start with city employees and then with the two students that are here. From Channel 36 from Los Angeles, both Steve Grace and Susan Porter, we'd like to thank you for your work. From ITA, Joe Kwan.
ITA, Joan Kwan.
And Myra Navarro.
Myra Navarro.
And a familiar face to many of you, Cliff Ang.
Una cara que muchos de ustedes quizás conozcan.
And Joe Mazingo, another familiar face to many.
Otra cara muy familiarizada. Quizás muchos de ustedes la
And a special
reconozcan.
recognition to Roger
reconocimiento
Fernandez, who's the
especial a
governmental
Roger
liaison for
Fernandez.
ITA, who played a major part in designing the program, obtaining funds, and administering the program.
Y para administrar este programa.
And finally, the general manager of ITA, who will provide us with a few words after the kids speak right now,
Nos dirá dar unas
Liza
pocas
Lowry.
palabras después de que los niños o los jóvenes pasen a dar las gracias.
So now I'd like to recognize the two kids that are here, the two students from Marshall High School. First, LaShawn Kokoyan.
LaShawn Kokoyan. You know what? None of them are working because they give
John Marshall High School, Councilmember Lavange corrected me. And Ani Kukoyan as well, and Ani's going to speak as well. Here we go.
What about the other? Do you need any more?
Everything has been great. My experience was just incredible, and I would like to thank everybody for being here and watching what we have done. And I just can't explain it. It was like it was a good feeling making your own show, and it's been great being here. It's a very good honor for me to have everybody watch this. And thank you for appreciating what we have done. Thank you for the award. Thank you.
And quickly, a graduate from John Marshall High School.
I just want to say we should do this at every high school in Los Angeles and open the doors, and thank you, Channel 36. That was wonderful.
And lastly, from ITA, Ms. Lowry.
Thank you, Councilman Garcetti, for support of our program, and thank you, Councilmember Lavange, for your support. And I also want to thank President Padilla, who was part of our first round of having high school interns. It's a wonderful program at no cost to the city. We've secured a federal grant. We have a 5-year commitment. Right now, we're taking 5 or 6 students at a time, and soon we hope to expand that program. So thanks for the opportunity to recruit more students today.
Final thanks to George Villanueva from my own staff, who worked very closely on this. Thank you for this presentation. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Garcetti.
Gracias, señor Garcetti.
Chair recognizes Mr. Weiss for a presentation.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Is Mr. Cervantes here? There he is. Terrific. Come on up, Rush. Hey, I'm joined by Rush Cervantes from the Department of Aging and our great mayor. We're here to celebrate Older Americans Month. For more than 30 years, our country has celebrated Older Americans Month in May to acknowledge the extraordinary contributions of the 34 million older Americans, 500,000 of whom live in the City of Angels. This month also celebrates the remarkable longevity of our population and acknowledges the challenges and opportunities we face in America as an aging population. Older Americans make diverse and generous contributions to our world, whether it's starting second careers, raising grandchildren, leading or being involved in civic organizations, or volunteering countless hours. Older Americans have much to offer, and they have greatly enriched the City of Los Angeles. The City of LA's Council on Aging and Department of Aging provide guidance and service to help our city address the needs of seniors and to open opportunities which oftentimes are not as readily available to older Americans as they ought to be. And therefore, the council and the mayor have resolved that the city of Los Angeles proclaims the month of May as Older Americans Month in the city of Los Angeles. I understand our mayor would like to address this very important topic. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Weiss. I just wanted to take this opportunity as part of Older Americans Month to recognize someone who really has done so much for the cause of seniors over the years. Ann Smith, who recently retired as our general manager of the Department of Aging. Ann, if you'd come up. Ann worked in a variety of city departments, but I think all of us appreciate what she was able to do with the Department of Aging, really elevating all of our consciousnesses on the issues of what seniors need help with government, someone who was there promoting the causes all the time, went to the White House Conference on Aging, someone who I enjoyed working with very much over the years, and so we wanted, as part of Older Americans Month, to recognize you as the Los Angeles Senior Advocate of 2002.
Thank you, Mayor, President of the Council, and the full City Council. I am indeed honored because for 32 years I got paid to do my job. And I truly believe that seniors in our city are a precious commodity and that we should do everything to ensure that the quality of their life is enhanced and that they can live in dignity. And you are very fortunate to have a department and a very dedicated staff that will work hard to make sure that the quality of services that the city provides will be #1 in the country. And I'd like to give a special thanks to the mayor because I was indeed surprised. And I've been retired for 3 weeks and I didn't think I had to come back down here. Thank you.
I wonder if yours is working. No, they can't hear you. Maybe it's yours.
Well, this is stuck. I changed the battery already. I don't know what to tell you.
Mr. President, I'd like to make an additional presentation to WISE Senior Services.
You're saying it doesn't matter.
They don't have another.
They're going to send somebody right now. Come up because he has to stay there.
Because they're televising it too. I'm sorry, they provide us with this. And a lot of times they
We're here to celebrate 10 years of collaborative efforts between the Department of Aging and WISE Senior Services to increase public awareness of the needs of our seniors. Many of our seniors, unfortunately, but it's true, they may be at times denied their basic rights and their benefits. They've even suffered abusive situations, whether that's financial exploitation or neglect. They require advocacy on their behalf because of physical or mental disabilities at times. At times they suffer from social isolation, and sometimes they suffer from either limited financial resources or from limited educational opportunities earlier in their lives. WISE Senior Services operates an ombudsman program for long-term care residents. It operates the Elder Abuse Community Education Program, an adult day support center for caregivers. The WISE Senior Services have provided 10 extraordinary years of service to the city of Los Angeles and to many, many senior citizens. And I want to congratulate WISE Senior Services for everything they've done to make this city a great city. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Gran trabajo que han hecho para los mayores de edad, las personas mayores de edad de esta ciudad.
Mayor and City Council and all members of the audience, I just want to take a second to say thank you so very much. But we are accepting this in behalf of the people who really count, our senior citizens, the people who need your support and your help. And I also want to say thank you to the staff, the volunteers, the board of directors, the members that are here with me. Without them, we wouldn't be here. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Weiss.
Gracias, señor Weiss.
Members of the council,
Miembros
members
del
of the
Consejo,
public, we
miembros del
still have
público,
quite a number
tenemos
of presentations
unas
to
cuantas
conduct today.
presentaciones todavía
And
que llevar a
we
cabo
have
y
a
tenemos
brief council agenda
una agenda
as
muy
well.
corta también,
So
pero
unless there's an objection,
solamente
what
si hay
I'd
una
like to
protesta, lo que me
do
gustaría
is
hacer es
proceed with the
proceder.
agenda. We'll go through the agenda, calling items special, and then return to the presentations after dispensing with the majority, if not all, of the official business of the day. Mr. Clerk, first order of business, please.
Approval of the minutes.
Mr. Holden moves, Mr. Labange seconds.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Ms. Hahn moves and Ms. Miskowski seconds.
Items numbers 1 through 8 on the regular agenda are items for which public hearings have been held. I understand item number 5, Councilmember Labange wishes to continue that matter until May 14th.
Let's continue item number 5.
14 de mayo.
President, bring in both
Presidente,
items together, that we had an audits committee, the work that we did yesterday in audits, as it reflects
trabajo en el comité de
both items
auditoría,
together, please.
ambos
Okay,
asuntos
clerk will make a
juntos,
note
por
of that,
favor.
please.
El
We have
actuario hará
items
este
1
punto
through
asunto 1
8
al
before us.
8
Item
ante
number
nosotros,
5,
asunto
without
número
objection, shall
5
be
sin protesta
continued.
será aplazado.
We do have cards in item number 7,
Tarjetas
but it
en el
requires a motion
asunto
from the
número
floor to reopen
7,
the public hearing. Mr. Holden.
7 and 8 special.
7 and 8 called
7 y
special by
8.
Mr. Holden.
categorizados como especial por el señor
Mr. President, I
Holden.
move to
Señor
have a public
Presidente,
hearing on 7.
queremos tener una
Okay,
audiencia
we'll get to
pública.
that when we consider item number 7. So we have remaining before us items 1 through 4 and item number 6. Item number 6 does
Asunto
require a
número
motion. Is there a
6 requiere
motion?
una moción
Item number
para el
6.
asunto número 6.
Is there a motion from the floor on item number 6?
This is translation.
Mr. President, item number 6 is a communication from the member of ED&E committee. There was not a public hearing at the committee level, so you may wish to hold this for the next section.
Quizás pueda demorar este para la siguiente
Okay,
sección.
let's hold this for the next section then. Let's open the roll on items
Ábrase
1 through
voto en
4.
asunto 1 al 4. Ábrase voto.
Let's close the roll
Ciérrese
and
voto
tabulate the
y
vote.
cuente voto.
11 ayes.
How many votes?
Items 1 through 4 are approved.
1 al
Next items,
4.
please.
Siguiente asunto, por favor.
Items numbers
Asuntos
7
número
and
7
9 through
y
15
9
are
hasta el
items which
15 son
public hearings
asuntos
have not been
no se han llevado a
I
cabo,
believe it's
audiencias
items number
públicas.
6
Creo yo que
and
es el
9 through
asunto
15.
6 y 9 a 15.
Public hearings have not been
La audiencia
held
pública
on
no
these
se ha llevado
matters.
a cabo en esos
Not
asuntos.
requested
No
members
tenemos
of the public
petición
to
del
be heard
miembro
on
del
these
público
matters.
de hacer
So we shall
presentaciones de
deem the
asuntos, por lo
public
tanto,
hearings
esas
open
audiencias se
and
abrirán y
closed.
se cerrarán.
Without objection,
Ahora,
we
sin
shall consider
protesta,
them today.
debemos considerarlas hoy, el día de
Members, are there
hoy.
any specials?
Miembros, ¿hay
Items
alguno
6
que
and
desea
9 through
categorizar como
15.
especial el 6, el 9 al 15?
Mr. Holden.
Señor Holden.
11 and 12.
11 y 12.
11 and 12
11 y
called
12
special by Mr. Holden.
será categorizada como especial por el señor Holden.
Any other
¿Algún
specials?
otro
Again,
categorizado
we
como
do need a
especial?
motion
Luego
from the
tenemos
floor on item
una
number 6.
moción de un miembro del ayuntamiento.
Well, seeing none, let's call item 6 special.
Actually, the motion is a
En realidad, la
formality on
moción
this
es una
matter
formalidad
inasmuch
solamente en
as the
este
member
asunto
of the
siempre cuando
committee did
hay un
send this
miembro.
forward to council and was
I
agendized.
see Mr. Reyes moving
Creo yo
the
que el
committee
señor Reyes
recommendation or the communication.
Aprobado
Thank you,
esta
Mr. Reyes.
recomendación. Gracias, señor Reyes.
Mr. Clerk, please open the roll
Actuario,
on
ábrase
item
voto en
6,
asunto número
9
6,
and 10,
9 y
and
10,
13 through
13 a
15.
15.
Close the roll
Cierre
and
su voto,
tabulate the vote.
cuente
11
voto.
ayes.
11 sí,
Those are approved.
han sido aprobados.
Mr. President, item number 16 on the continuation
Asunto
agenda
número
is an item
16,
for
en la
which public hearing has
agenda
not been
donde no se han
held.
llevado a
And I
cabo
do
audiencia
have
pública,
cards from members
tenemos
of the public
tarjetas del
wishing to be
miembro del
heard on that
público que desean
matter.
escuchar
Let's
Council
que sean
President, number 6,
esta
forthwith,
presentación de este
please.
asunto. Número
forthwith
6,
on number 6.
procedemos con número 6.
Let's call 16 special.
16 también será categorizado como especial.
That is the extent of the agenda at this time, unless you
Ese
wish
es
to
el
go into
término de la
specials
agenda
at
ahora,
this time.
salvo si desea
The
hablar sobre
special agenda?
la agenda especial.
No,
No, special items. Let's
No,
return at
asuntos
this time
especiales. Ahora
to
regresaremos
presentations.
a las
Chair
presentaciones.
recognizes Mr.
El
Labange.
presidente reconoce al señor concejal Labange.
Mr. President,
Señor
members of
Presidente,
council,
miembros
we
del
have a
Consejo,
very,
tenemos
very special family
una
here
familia
today.
muy especial
The
aquí el día
Harding
de
family
hoy.
here
La familia Harding
represent
aquí representa
127 years
127 años
of city
de
service.
servicio a la
And I
ciudad.
have a
Y
resolution
tengo una
here
resolución aquí
that I would like to read.
que me gustaría leer.
Whereas, for
Ya que
4 generations, the Harding
por 4
family,
generaciones la
Clement,
familia
Edward,
Harding
Dennis, and William, and Brian have been employed by the City of Los Angeles and in the Bureau of Street Services continuously since 1936. And whereas the Harding family has combined these years of service in the Bureau of Street Services for over 127 years. And whereas the late Clement E. Harding began his career as a gas roller operator in 1936 and retired as a equipment operator in 1958, a total of 22 years of service. And whereas Edward J. Harding, son of Clement, began his career as a clerk typist in 1947 and retired as a street maintenance general superintendent 2, the division head of street maintenance division in 1981 with a total of 34 great years of service. And whereas Dennis Harding, the son of Edward, began his career in 1968 as a maintenance laborer in street maintenance and is currently a street maintenance general superintendent 2, division head for street services in the Valley. A total of 34 years of service. And whereas William J. Harding, also a son of Edward, began his career as a maintenance laborer in 1971 and is currently a street maintenance superintendent 2, a total of 31 years. And whereas Brian E. Harding, son of William, began his career in 1996 as a street maintenance worker and is currently a motor sweeper operator, keeping the great city of Los Angeles clean as he keeps his neighborhood clean and keeps his routes done on time. To be saluted for his years of service, whereas the Harding family has served this city so well for 66 continuous years. Now therefore, let it be resolved by adoption of this resolution, the members of the Los Angeles City Council do hereby express their personal gratitude and appreciation and thanks for all the sweat and blood that you left on the streets of Los Angeles, working to maintain the streets of Los Angeles, keeping the city clean, doing the great job as employees of a family that is dedicated to the city of Los Angeles. It's signed by all members of council, and we salute the Harding family on this day, the 10th day of May, 2002.
Bring some batteries over. You got to turn them off when they get put back in.
I do, my colleagues
Yeah,
don't.
somebody else's. Yeah, I'll get some batteries.
I'd like to ask all the
Me
Hardings
gustaría
to speak.
pedir a todos los de la familia Harding que hable, pero solamente pedimos a Edward. También él está muy involucrado con nuestros empleados que están jubilados, los que se han jubilado de esta ciudad, con ese grupo. Y ya, por favor, denle un gran aplauso al señor Harding. Gracias. Muchas gracias.
I'd like to thank
Quiero dar las gracias
councilman here for being a good friend and honoring our family,
por tenernos
recognizing
aquí, por honrar a nuestra
for
familia,
all
por
the
su
members of the
reconocimiento y
council.
para todos los miembros del
And
concilio.
my son
Muchas
Dennis
gracias.
would like to say a
Mi hijo
few
Dennis
words
me
about the
gustaría
people
decir ciertas
attending.
palabras para estas personas que están presentes.
On behalf of all the
De parte de toda la familia Harding, también quisiera dar las gracias al concejal Lavanche, al concilio, quiero dar las gracias a nuestros amigos, a nuestras familias, y a todos nuestros compañeros de trabajo que están aquí
in appreciation of this day. Thank you very much.
por ayudarnos y por estar con nosotros este gran día. Muchas gracias.
All the folks from street services stand up and be recognized in the back there, support the family. The Harding family has the record. I don't know if you ever knew John, George, or Alex, Dealey, and Edith. That was the nice Greek family. They used to have the record. The
Esa era otra
firefighter,
familia, eran griegos. Era un bombero, trabajaba en el departamento de
now the
transportes y
Harding
servicios sociales,
family.
pero ahora la
Great
familia
salute for
Harding.
you and thank you.
Muchas
Now
felicitaciones.
let's go back to
Gracias
keep the
ahora
streets clean.
a regresar a mantener las calles de nuestra ciudad limpias.
Mr. President and
Señor
members of
presidente,
council,
miembros del
from that
concilio,
presentation of the
desde esa
fine
presentación de
Harding family,
para la familia
I'm going to
Harding,
go to one of the
ahora
most dedicated
voy a
news
pasar
anchors in Los
a hablar
Angeles.
con una de las
I'd like to ask Janice
presentadoras
Hahn
de
to come join me right
televisión más
now.
ubicadas en Los Ángeles.
With
Janice
this
Hahn,
here,
pase aquí
Christine
conmigo,
Devine,
por
if you
favor.
could please welcome Christine Devine from Fox News.
La televisión Fox.
Janice and I have a resolution for Christine. And what is so special about Christine Divine is that she, like many of us, are in a community on the weekends. We run into Christine Divine events for the Los Angeles Police Department, for children, for things in our parks, for things in the ocean cleanup, for all kinds of activities for our fire department. Mike Sayre, come out here from the lap rack of the Los Angeles Police Department. He just was at Baker to Vegas. But I would like to read this resolution and honor someone who I met years ago and have always been impressed with because of her dedication for others. And whereas Christine Divine has been named the outstanding alumni for Arizona State University, and whereas she began her broadcasting career during her college days when she worked for several Arizona markets, including Phoenix, Tempe, Sierra Vista, as a reporter and producer for television and radio. And whereas Christine has received 7 local Emmy nominations, and including for Wednesday's Child, a weekly segment that started in July 2000 and is featured on Fox News, that she produces in conjunction with the Freddie Mac Foundation and the Los Angeles County Department of Children's Services, which is so important. It's a real reason that inspired me about you, Christine, because of care for children and for foster children and making people of Southern California and Los Angeles aware of it. Whereas for the story for Avon 3-day breast cancer walk journey of hope, Fox, 11 News, and Christine were awarded the prestigious National Gracie Allen Award from the American Women in Radio and Television, and a Press Club Award, and an Emmy nomination. Now, therefore, be it resolved that by adoption of this resolution, the Los Angeles City Council does hereby commend the great Christine Divine for her fine work in television in Los Angeles and as a lead anchor for Fox 11 News. And further be resolved that we salute her by being named Alumnus of the Year for Arizona State University, being one of the great Sun Devils for that great university in the desert, and also to commend her for all her work in making this city a greater place in which to live. Please join with me and Councilmember Hahn in saluting Christine Divine.
Mr. Zine.
Señor concejal Sainz.
Colleagues,
Gracias,
Christine
colegas.
Divine,
Christine Divine,
that wonderful anchor from
una gran
Fox Channel
presentadora del
11,
Canal 11,
a wonderful
Fox,
person who
una
helps
linda
everyone
persona,
out in Los
le ayuda a
Angeles
todas las
whenever they
personas en
call
Los
upon her,
Ángeles
whether it's the
cuando
police
le llaman
department
al departamento de
or the
policía,
students, the youth
los
of our community
estudiantes, los jóvenes de
that
nuestra
need
comunidad,
someone to help the fire
departamento de
department.
bomberos.
You are a tremendous
Usted
anchor,
es una
a
gran
tremendous
persona de
reflection of
televisión, una gran
positiveness of Los
reflexión de
Angeles.
optimismo en Los
Congratulations
Ángeles.
on the award.
Felicitaciones
I know
por este
that in the
premio. Yo
past
sé
years,
que en
when
los
you've ridden
últimos
with the
años cuando usted
firefighters, you've
ha
ridden with the
ido
police
con los
officers on charity
bomberos y
runs,
con los
it's been a
policías
wonderful
y cuando ha
ability
y
for
cuando
you to
usted ha
blend
participado
media, law enforcement, firefighters for what's beneficial for the
eventos
community and charity
donde
operations.
se camina
My heart goes
por-
out to you. You're a wonderful
para
person, wonderful anchor.
eventos
And make
especiales
Channel
para
11
las
Fox
cosas
News
también.
get all the ratings it
Gracias.
deserves. Everyone watch Fox 11, Christine Divine.
También por esta ciudad y que todo el
Dennis,
mundo
if you want to be correct, just tell everybody to watch all the news all the time.
díganle nada más a las personas que miren las noticias todo el tiempo.
I can agree with Dennis in part.
Yo estoy de acuerdo con Dennis en parte. Hola, Christine, ¿cómo
We watch
estás?
the other
Con el
channels up
concejal
until 10 o'clock.
Holden. Miramos
Then we get all
la
the
televisión
coverage.
hasta las 10, después nosotros
But in any case, the most
vemos
special
a
one is,
nuestro
of course, Channel 11 with Christine Divine.
televisión, claro, más especial es
I
Canal
remember
11 con
Christine when she
Christine
first came
Divine.
to
Yo
Los
recuerdo a Christine
Angeles.
cuando ella vino a Los
She came into
Ángeles.
these
La
chambers
primera vez ella vino a
and
este
she was a field
ayuntamiento.
reporter.
Ella
Did such an
reportera.
outstanding job. Her
Hizo un
talent
gran
and skills
trabajo
were
con su
recognized
talento y sus
earlier in her
aptitudes.
career in Los
Esto fue
Angeles.
reconocido tempranamente
Motivated her to
durante su
become an
carrera en
anchor
Los
in
Ángeles.
Channel
Esto
11.
ayudó que se hiciera
And the city has never been
presentadora
better off
principal en el Canal 11.
by
La
having you
ciudad
there.
está
We
en
all
buenas
feel that
manos
way,
porque
and
está ahí.
you're being honored here today, and we just
Nos
want you to
venimos
know
a darte este
how
honor
precious
y
you are
queremos decirte que eres un
to
gran
us.
valor
and keep up the
para
good
esa
work.
ciudad y adelante con tu
God bless
gran
you, my
trabajo.
friend.
Que Dios te bendiga, amiga.
Thank you. I too, just really, Christine, want to congratulate you on being named the Outstanding Alumni for Arizona State University, and to let you know that we really feel lucky here in Los Angeles that you've decided to stay here and contribute to the community. And I just don't think this can be overstated, that you really are a great role model to all the young women in and around Los Angeles, many of whom still feel limited in their career choices, but you're a great example of really someone who's made it and continues to give back to the community. So hopefully you will give that inspiration to young women who watch you, that they too could have a very successful career in television.
Before Christine speaks, representing the police department, Mike Sayer.
Thank you, Tom. Dennis, Mr. President, Council. Christine Devine came involved with our events with the Los Angeles Police Revolver Athletic Club about 4 years ago, and she has just brought true class and meaning to our events, especially Baker to Vegas, where she MCs over an awards ceremony that has about 8,000 officers from around the country. She has brought, really raised the bar in class and elegance to that event. And she supports us in our memorial golf tournament and other events that are established by the Los Angeles Police Department, and she has been a real true blessing to the department and the Los Angeles Police Revolver and Athletic Club, and I salute her for that.
Please welcome Christine Devine.
This is way too much. I want to say thank you so much, Tom, for having me here. And as Councilman Holden said, yes, I was here about 12 years ago when I first started out. I was in awe then and in awe of your job as a council member. I thank you for having me back here again. Right now I'm in the office all the time, so I don't get to come to council chambers, and once again, this is overwhelming. And I just wanted to say thank you to my mom, who's visiting here from Arizona, because she raised me with the spirit of community service. My mom was in the Peace Corps of Brazil, and she adopted 6 children, so I was raised with the spirit of giving back. And, we were raised with the spirit of to whom much is given, much is expected, and I live by that. Thank you.
What's nice too, Christine, you brought your mother, Karen Devine, here, but also her friend May Pickle, and she's coming in from Arizona. She lives in southern Arizona, and out her back window, she sees the great country of Mexico in the view. So it's so nice to have you. Please recognize them in council. Karen, Devine, and May Pickle. Thank you very much. Go ASU. You join Mike Haynes and all those other great Sun Devils. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Labange. The chair recognizes Mr. Reyes for a special presentation.
Thank you, Council President and colleagues. I know it's been a long morning. I want to thank the children here for being with us and having their patience. But I'm here on behalf of Councilor Nick Pacheco, who unfortunately could not be here today. But back 3 years ago, he began Deaf Awareness Month. It was established in May of 2000 and continues today. I'd like to call up Mitch Pomerantz from the Department on Disability. And I wanted to speak a little bit about what this department does and how it supports this very special population in our city. The department involved in the implementation of the rider for the deaf for the Los Angeles Police Department. It created a 911 communication center and 18 emergency police community stations to provide both emergency and non-emergency services. This project now provides direct access to individuals who use TTYs, which is the teletypewriter for the deaf, and computer modems. It involves both the production of the LA Police Department training videotapes, the 911 TTY emergency responses. It interacts with the deaf and hard of hearing, and it also establishes using your TDD. The City of Los Angeles has been a national and international model. They were invited as a guest presenter for the broadcast on disabilities and disasters. 5 years of ADA implementation 911 TTY emergency services at the Federal Emergency Management Agency in Washington, D.C. in 1995. There's a whole litany of accomplishments for this department. Essentially, they are the ones that conduct training sessions to various city departments, which include the LAPD, and the roll calling training on issues relating to individuals who are deaf and hard of hearing. So I'd like to take this opportunity to present a certificate of appreciation to the Department of Disabilities for all the good work on behalf of Councilmember Pacheco. Thank you, sir.
Pacheco, muchas gracias, señor.
On behalf of our Executive Director, Sharon Morris, who unfortunately is ill this morning, I want to thank the City Council and say that I'm particularly proud as the city's ADA compliance officer to be accepting this award. Our staff, particularly our deaf services folks, Richard Ray and Angela Kaufman, work very hard to make the city ADA compliant and facilitate communication between the deaf and hard of hearing community and city government, and I thank you very much.
Next, I'd like to recognize the individuals for their special accomplishments in District 14. And on behalf of Councilor Pacheco, I'd like to call from Multnomah Street Elementary School, Carolina Ramos and Virginia Garcia. I'd like to step on up. Carolina Ramos is 12 years old and a 5th grade student at Multnomah Street School. Carolina started at school when she was 8 years old and did not know any English or sign language, but was an eager student. She rapidly learned to communicate in sign language and is highly motivated to improve her speech, reading, and writing skills. She has a self-portrait on display at the LA Unified School District's Art Festival. She loves school, has a wonderful positive attitude, and hopes to one day become a veterinarian. Carolina, this is for you. Thank you. We also have from Multnomah, Virginia Garcia.
La señora Virginia Garcia. Virginia, pase por favor.
Virginia is the mother of 2 deaf children who attend Multnomah Street Elementary School. Paco is in the 2nd grade and Lily is kindergarten. These children have made amazing progress with the help of their mother. In order to communicate and work with her children, Virginia attends Multnomah's weekly sign language class. She also attends daily classes at East LA's Blossom Skills Center to help educate her children. Virginia is a room parent and is willing to help anytime the teachers ask. Virginia is an exceptional and exemplary mother who we are proud of as part of the Deaf and Hard of Hearing program at Multnomah Street Elementary School. Virginia Garcia, thank you very much for all your great work. Muchas gracias. Por favor, decimos las palabras.
Pues quiero darle las gracias a todos los maestros y asistentes, principalmente de la escuela Multnomah, que
I would like to thank especially all the teachers and assistants at Multnomah Elementary School
por darnos el apoyo para podernos realizar y pasar experiencias muy bonitas con nuestros niños, aprender el lenguaje de señas.
especially to thank them for giving us the hope and the beautiful experiences in learning through sign language.
Quisiera decirle a todos los padres que tenemos la oportunidad de tener un niño especial
I would like to tell the parents that have a special needs child
que si queremos ver a nuestros niños realmente felices, aprendamos su mismo lenguaje que es el de sign language.
if we would like to see our children in the future be happy, we will have to learn their own language, which is sign language.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias a ustedes. You know, council members, I know we're rushing, I feel like I'm rushing, but this is very special. We are able to overcome these kinds of challenges. This is their few moments of glory, so I do appreciate your patience. I'd like to call up Marcela Mayet. She's an exceptional individual who came forward this morning so I can acknowledge her sincere dedication and support of GLAD, the Greater Los Angeles County Council on Deafness located in Eagle Rock. Marcela is the former Chief Executive Officer of the Great Los Angeles Council on Deafness Incorporated. She has been instrumental in improving the quality of life for the deaf and hard of hearing at GLAD, which serves more than 60,000 people annually through its main headquarters in Eagle Rock. She administers the GLAD Info Interpreter Referral Program, Information Referral Service, Advocacy, Employment, Family Health Education, and AIDS Education Service for the Deaf. There's a whole litany of accomplishments here. Be rest assured, she is one person who truly deserves this recognition. Thank you, Ms. Marcela Mayan.
The chair recognizes Mrs. Brule. I would like to just add my congratulations to Marcela. When I had the opportunity to work with her at my days at HUD in their program there in Eagle Rock, and that we were able to make that program a reality with her help, her tenaciousness, her ability to convince everyone at HUD how important this project was. And I just want to add my congratulations because she really has been a leader in the deaf community and someone that we should all acknowledge and be extremely
que todo el mundo debemos reconocer y tener mucho orgullo por tenerla. Y gracias, concejala Gruel.
Thank you, Wendy.
Gracias, Andy.
Ms. Gruel. Well, Councilwoman Gruel now.
Gruel ahora.
And thank you to Councilman Pacheco for this honor.
Por este gran honor.
But I'm very happy that you're recognizing Deaf Awareness Month here in the Los Angeles area and have been for the last 3 years, because it is very important that we emphasize that deafness is not a visible, but it's an oppressed, invisible minority. And you do need to focus some attention in that area. And now, a while ago, there were many awards given out to the Department on Disability, and not to take away from them, but it would not have happened without the wonderful advocacy of the GLAD organization, the Greater Los Angeles Council on Deafness, who worked very hard and lobbied for deaf equal access in the city of Los Angeles. And Helen Keller, when she was asked if she would rather be deaf or blind, she said blindness separates people from things, but deafness separates people from other people. And I hope that you can help bring the deaf together with the mainstream and let them have equal access to everything. And again, thank you very much for this honor.
Thank you for all your great work. I'd like to call up the representatives from Wilson High School, Giselle Contreras, Elena Pulido, and Dr. Maria French. Giselle Contreras is 14 years old and a 9th grade freshman at Wilson High School. Despite Giselle's profound deafness, Giselle always strives to excel in school. In addition, she has a desire to learn new things. Because of her perseverance, she will mainstream in the fall.
En la preparatoria.
I'd like to call up Elena Pulido. Elena Pulido resides in Highland Park. She is 17 years old and a 12th grade senior at Wilson High School. She's receiving this award to honor her dedication and hard work. She is curious about anything new and isn't afraid to ask questions or ask if there's a book she can read about. Elena recognizes her weakness and strives to improve, will be an asset to any college professor she decides on. Congratulations, Elena.
Su aprendizaje y hace preguntas cuando las tenga. Felicitaciones y buena suerte.
We also have Dr. Maria French.
La doctora Maria French.
She is an amazing woman who has had many obstacles in her life. She received her PhD at USC and was told by the special education chairman, no principal in their right mind would have hire you as a teacher. Maria did not listen and follow her dreams. Dr. French has been teaching for over 20 years. She taught at Miller Special Education Center at Whitney High School and presently at Wilson High School. Maria has always been an individual who loves a challenge and given the opportunity to work with DHH students, she grasped the chance.
Tomó la
Thank you,
oportunidad
Dr.
de
Maria
trabajar
French.
con niños de educación especial. Muchas gracias por esta oportunidad.
I think that what Mr. Pacheco is
Lo que el
doing
señor Pacheco está
is really
haciendo
honorable
es muy
because
honorable
we
porque
don't
nosotros no
have
tenemos
enough role
suficientes
models for our
líderes
disabled
ejemplares para nuestros
students.
estudiantes
And they need
incapacitados.
hope.
Ellos necesitan
They need to
esperanza,
see
necesitan ver
that no matter what the limitation,
importa los límites que ellos
whether they're
tienen, ya sean
disabled,
sordos,
I'm
incapacitados.
teaching them. Giselle is one of my
Giselle es
students.
una de mis
And
estudiantes.
we're working very
Estamos
hard
trabajando muy
on her
arduosamente
grammar,
en su gramática de Giselle.
regardless of your heritage, your language. Yo hablo el español
nacionalidad, su
perfecto.
idioma, yo hablo el español
And I think
perfectamente.
in Nicaragua,
Y
you
nací en
can be
Nicaragua.
proud
Tengan
of who you
orgullo de
are.
quién
Thank you
me
very
son.
much.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Dr. French.
Gracias, doctora French.
Next, I'd like to call up
Después
the
me gustaría
representatives from
llamar a los
Alcino Middle School.
representantes de Alcin, la escuela
Stacy Hernandez, please
primaria.
step forward.
Stacy Hernández, pase por favor.
We have Stacy Hernandez,
Tenemos a
Raymond
Stacy
Behar,
Hernández, a
and
Ramón
Ronnie
Bejar y a
De
Ronnie
Leon.
De Leon.
Stacy is 13 years old
Stacy tiene
and 8th
13
grader
años de
at
edad,
Alcino
está
Middle
en
School.
el grado 8.
She has maintained a sincere
Ella ha
and diligent
mantenido
effort in her
un
academics.
esfuerzo diligente y
She has
sincero en
mainstreamed
su
into all general education
trabajo
classes
académico.
but one.
Ha tenido éxito en
A
todas sus
participant
escuelas,
in
salvo
Teamworks
una.
mentoring program.
Participa
She
en
is
el programa.
learning 3
Como
languages,
ejemplo,
English,
está
Spanish, and sign language.
está aprendiendo 3
She
idiomas,
has taken
inglés,
initiative and
español
been very assertive
e idioma de
without being
señas.
prodded.
Ella ha tomado
Stacy,
este
congratulations.
reto con mucho orgullo. Felicitaciones, Stacy.
Raymond Bedhart, please step forward.
Reverendo Berhard, pase por favor.
Raymond is 15 years old and an 8th grader at Alcino
Tiene
Middle
15 años
School.
de edad y está en
He
el
excels in the areas of
grado.
mathematics and algebra, surpassing
Sus
even his
logros están
hearing
en
peers.
matemáticas.
Has participated in mainstream classes throughout middle school. He's a favorite athlete of the PE teachers, coaches, because of his talent and 110% effort.
Porque pone
Participates in the Alcino Sports Academy.
de
His
esfuerzo.
friendly,
Él
positive
participa en las
personality has made him a leader amongst his peers and
Él
adored by
es
his
un líder
teachers.
entre sus
Raymond,
compañeros y es
congratulations.
muy respetado por sus profesores y compañeros. Felicitaciones, Raymond.
Ronnie De Leon,
Ronnie
please
De
step
Leon,
forward.
pase por favor.
Ronnie dedicates many extra hours working with the deaf and hard of hearing students on song signing performances and building self-confidence in them.
Para actividades
She also took the students to Disneyland on Deaf Day
Lleva a los niños a
as a reward for the
Disneylandia
great efforts in
como
school.
premios por su
She
gran
arranges a
esfuerzo
field
en la
trip to Cal State Northridge
Ella organiza
to meet deaf role
viajes
models and be
al
introduced to
Cal
deaf
State
programs at the
Northridge
university.
y
She works through her
conocer a
nutrition and lunch
estudiantes de
breaks
la universidad,
with her
trabaja
students.
durante sus
Congratulations,
almuerzos,
Ronnie.
durante su almuerzo con estudiantes niños que están todo el mundo. Felicitaciones, Ronnie.
I'd like to call up Ann
Me
Walsh.
gustaría ahora llamar a la señora Ann Walsh.
Ann is quite an
Ann
inspiration.
es una gran
She puts
inspiración.
more time and effort into her
Ella
job.
da
Her
más
success as a
tiempo y
teacher
esfuerzo
can
y
only be
trabajo.
measured by the
Su
love
éxito
and respect that she gets
por el
back from her students.
afecto y
She
respeto
volunteers
que
her
sus
own time
estudiantes
after
otorga.
school nutrition and lunch for any of the students that need her attention. She makes each one of them feel
Ella
special
hace
as
que
she
uno de sus
responds
niños,
to each
sea especial y
personality.
responde a todas
She knows her
las
students
personalidades,
and will
conoce
fight
a
for
sus
their rights.
estudiantes y lucha por sus
She enjoys the
derechos.
progress with such
Disfruta el
enthusiasm that
progreso
she
de
shares her
tal
joy with the
entusiasmo
rest of the
y
school
ella
staff.
comparte
The students know they can
entusiasmo
count on
con
her
el
at
resto
all
de sus
times.
compañeros. Los estudiantes
And
pueden
thank you very
contar
much
con
and
ella y su
congratulations
apoyo
for
todo
your
el
great
tiempo.
work.
Gracias y felicitaciones por su gran trabajo.
Thank you very much
Muchas
for
gracias
being here with
por
us
estar
today.
aquí con nosotros el día de hoy.
And next, I'd like to
Después, ahora me gustaría
follow our presentations with
nuestra
District 1.
presentación con el Distrito 1.
I'd like to call up
Me
the
gustaría llamar
House and Ear Institute.
al Instituto
This
de
is a very
Viviendas.
special
Este es
entity. It
una
was
entidad muy
established in
especial, fue establecida
1946,
en
has grown from a
1946,
rented
ha
one-person
crecido
office
de
to
una
a five-story
oficina
building,
a un edificio de
accommodating over
5 pisos,
175
acomodando
staff
más de
members
175
in 19 separate
miembros del personal
departments.
en 19
They have
diferentes
many
departamentos.
accomplishments and
Han
are really
logrado
couple.
muchos,
They have sought to improve hearing
incluyendo,
aids and auditory implants and develop innovative treatments
han
and intervention
desarrollado
methods.
tratamientos
They
nuevos
know that a better
de
understanding of
intervención,
how a
saben que
normal
un
ear
mejor
develops,
entendimiento de
matures,
cómo
and
se
functions will provide
desarrolla
us with the greatest
un
potential
oído,
for
nos
discovering
proveerá con
cures
la
for hearing
mejor
loss
posibilidad para
and some of the
descubrir
many unsolved causes of deafness and ear disease. I'd like to call up Dr. Jürgen Theodor Franzer
Ahora
to receive
quiero
this certificate of
presentar aquí a
recognition.
este doctor para recibir este certificado de reconocimiento.
I'm here for all the others from our House the Institute too, and yeah, I'm happy to get that in the memory of the founder of our House the Institute, who founded 50 years ago this institute to get some new ideas and help for all of us who are deaf. Thank you.
Este es un instituto porque nos asiste y nos ayuda a las personas que tenemos problemas.
I just want to thank again Councilman Pacheco for putting together this very special month and for our ability to be able to work with this very special population. I'd like to call Councilman Padilla for your presentation.
Llamar al concejal Padilla para su presentación.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Councilmember Reyes. And a big thank you to Councilmember Pacheco for his leadership. As Councilman Reyes has mentioned for the last couple of years, not only in helping organize and establish the Deaf Awareness Month recognition from the Council, but certainly the intention that we can call to the many challenges to significant members of our society. It's my pleasure and honor to recognize somebody from my district as well this year. Sylvia Rodriguez, who's standing here next to me, who is the founder of the David Rodriguez Foundation. Yes, there's a relation. David is Sylvia's son, who was born in 1987 with hearing impediments. And as most kids, as he was growing up, as he was growing older, as he's being a kid, there was a desire to be involved with sports, with activities, with programs for young people. But the unfortunate experience that Sylvia had and David had was that there was a shortage of programs that were either sensitive to or accommodating to children with hearing disabilities and other challenges. And so Sylvia took it upon herself to not settle for less, but in fact go out and organize athletic programs, specifically softball and baseball league, that attracted kids from all over the city. And that really showed Sylvia, it showed our community, it showed really people from throughout the city that there is a big need and a big desire for activities, mainstream activities to be able to accommodate hearing disabled children and others. And so it's for her courage, for her leadership, for her tenacity, and for her commitment not only to her son David, but to the entire community in the Northeast Valley and throughout the city, that it's my honor to give her the certificate of commendation as the recipient for this year from the 7th District. Thank you so much.
Muchas gracias, Silvia.
I want to thank you for having me here today. I don't have much to say, but every day that I come across children that participate in our program, we're truly blessed. I want to thank the GLAD organization for supporting the David Rodriguez Foundation as well. Each and every council member here has deaf and hard of hearing children in your districts, and my dream is to touch each and every district so we can reach the children in your communities. Thank you.
I'd like to call Councilmember Jack Weiss
Quiero
for his presentation.
llamar al concejal Weiss para una presentación.
That's the Hope for Hearing Foundation representative.
Esta representante de la Fundación Hope for Hearing, Esperanza para poder escuchar. Gracias por su presencia, por estar aquí con nosotros.
Madam President, colleagues, I'm here to recognize the Hope for Hearing Foundation, which has been supporting research in the treatment of ear diseases, education of deaf children, and rehabilitation of the deaf through a community outreach program. It was founded in 1959 as the Western Foundation for Hearing Research by Edna Breslow, and under the guidance of Dr. Victor Goodhill and his associates, various research programs and institutes began and conducted. It was first located at Cedars of Lebanon Hospital, which is takes you way back down memory lane in Los Angeles. And then it moved to UCLA, where it stayed for 35 years. And then in August of 1997, the foundation moved into its offices in West LA. Over the past 40 years, more than $1 million have been granted to UCLA to provide salaries, equipment, and laboratory supplies in the Division of Head and Neck Surgery, which is now known as the Victor Goodhill Ear Center. The community outreach program began in 1975 and includes a 6-week-long hearing loss workshop for partially hearing adults and their families, as well as ongoing support and counseling efforts for everybody. There are more than 5,000 people who have graduated from their programs, and thanks to their efforts, 1 million people have been educated about the ramifications of hearing loss over the past quarter century. So I want to present a commendation and congratulate the Hope for Hearing Foundation.
Del campus de muchas gracias a Hope Foundation por su trabajo.
Good morning.
Buenos días.
It was really wonderful, all the things that you said about Hope for Hearing, and it's all true.
Las cosas tan lindas que he dicho acerca de Hope for Hearing, y todas esas son
Everybody here
verdad, pero
today is
todos
focused on
aquí
children
están
and children's hearing loss,
enfocándose en
and that
niños
is a
y la
very
pérdida
important
de
thing,
oído
so
de
children can
los
become
niños.
integrated
Es
into
muy importante
society.
que los niños puedan
Hope for
integrarse y
Hearing
adaptarse a la
focuses
sociedad.
on
Sin
people
embargo,
who have
Hope
lost
for
their hearing
se enfoca
throughout
en
their life,
personas que han
people who have
perdido
lived long, productive lives
el
and
uso
slowly
de
lost
su
their
oído
hearing.
a través
These are
de
the
su
people who live in
vida, y
isolation and loneliness,
muy despacio
and
pierden
Hope for Hearing's classes
sentido.
are geared toward keeping these
Hope for
people
Hearing se enfoca
in the
a
world
ayudar a estas personas
connected
en el
and
mundo y
productive
mantenerlos
senior members of
conectados
society.
y que continúen siendo productivos en nuestra sociedad. Muchas gracias.
Next, I'd like to call Councilmember
Ahora,
Nate Holden.
concejal Holden.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
Helping the hearing impaired has
Ayudando a las personas
been one of my
sordas mudas ha
commitments
sido uno de mis
all of my
compromisos
political life.
durante toda mi vida
When I was
como
first
político.
elected to the
Cuando primero
California
me
State Senate,
eligieron al Senado estatal,
Burrell to come forward.
me gustaría que
I was appointed
me nombraron
vice chair of the Senate Health
vicepresidente
Committee.
dentro del Comité de Salud del Centro de Salud.
Mr. Thomas will
El
soon
señor Thomas
have those experiences
tendrá
in
estas
the assembly, I'm sure,
experiencias
and
en
do
la
a good job at
asamblea
it.
y sé que hará un gran
But
trabajo.
then I had the pleasure to
Después
meet
tuve el
with
placer de
Mrs. Reagan,
conocer a
who
la
was an
señora
advocate for
Reagan,
programs
una
to
gran
support
defensora
the hearing impaired.
programas que
And we met
apoyan a los
at one of the
sordos.
hearing
Nos
facilities
reunimos
right
en un
here
lugar
in Los Angeles. Outside of my
aquí en
senatorial
Los Ángeles,
district, but
fuera de mi
nonetheless is one that program that
pero
I
sin
cared
embargo
about, and she
ella que
did
este era un
also.
programa al cual yo de
And
veras
I learned then
apoyaba,
that those in public
y en
life
ese entonces aprendí que las
had a
personas
job to do for those
que dan servicio
who could not help
público
themselves and support programs that made
tenían la responsabilidad, tenían
that
que
was
hacer
significantly
compromiso a
important
las personas que no se pueden ayudar a sí
to help
mismos.
them
Estos programas
acquire
son
the
sumamente
education,
importantes para que esas
communicate
personas
and work within our
reciban
society of the
educación, puedan
hearing,
comunicarse y
and
trabajar
make sure
dentro
that
de
they
la
can become
sociedad
gainfully
y
employed in our
asegurarnos de que ellos
society.
pudieran
And
conseguir
thank God that has
trabajo,
been the
trabajos
case
decentes y con mucha integridad
in
en
Sacramento.
muchos estados. Y esto ha ocurrido
Their
en
pleas
Sacramento.
were always heard for support.
Sus mensajes siempre
I
fueron
know there's
escuchados.
many pieces of legislation that I have an opportunity to vote on that they lobbied me on. And for whatever reason, I understood the message that they were communicating to me. They could barely speak, but the body language and everything else said, help us. We can learn, and they have. I know one piece of legislation introduced dealt with the blind and providing an opportunity for them to work in all those concessions in the state building. That was a piece of my legislation I was proud of as well, as long as helping those who have hearing impairment. Today we have two very fine people who helped themselves, but they didn't stop there. They went on to help others as well. I'd like to welcome Dorothy and Darby Burrell, their man and wife. They are residents of the 10th District, and they're very active in promoting causes for the deaf and the hard of hearing. The Burrells are members of the Los Angeles Black Deaf Advocates. The goal of this organization is to promote the cultural, educational, and social growth of African Americans who are deaf or hard of hearing. And of course, they need help more than others. Mrs. Burrell retired from the Los Angeles County Department of Human Services 3 years ago. Ms. Burrell is retired from Boeing Aircraft Company, and they can't hear, they have a hearing impairment. Dorothy has been deaf since birth, and is proud to say she is an expert in sign language. Absolutely fantastic. Glowing symbol of success, what one can achieve in our society. Darby, her husband, is hard of hearing. They are truly remarkable individuals. Please join me in saluting and welcoming Dorothy and Darby Burrell, and the interpreter is Selwyn Bennett. Are you over there?
Ahí está el intérprete.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
I didn't know that I was chosen. I'm very surprised, and I want to thank you, Councilman Nate Holden, and all those of you that chose me and my husband. I feel that we really need the assistance of the community to help us to be successful in what we're doing. And it's very beneficial, and we hope that in the future that you would continue to help the deaf and the deaf children in our community. And if we want to thank all of you for honoring us, thank you again, Nate Holden, Councilman, and all of you. I am very honored to be here with you today. I'm really surprised myself that I'm here, and I'm hoping that you all will continue to support LABDA, and we need all of your help and support. And I really want you to know that we thank you for helping the deaf people and the deaf children, and you have really blessed our hearts in the community, and we're glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Next, I'd like to ask Councilmember Ruth Galanter. She'd like to come to the microphone, please.
Galanter, pase el micrófono, por favor.
She's here.
Ella está aquí, pase.
Thank you, Mr. President. I actually have two presentations today. I'm going to start with the West Side Center for Independent Living. Its director, Marianne Jones, is here with me today. She has been here before. The West Side Center for Independent Living is located in Mar Vista, but its clientele is from anybody who wants to come and work with the center. The center aids people with all different kinds of disabilities and helps them to live as independently as possible. There are non-residential programs and there are services, there is training in independent living skills. Actually, I'm going to let you describe some of these. They do peer counseling, referral services, job training for the kinds of jobs that you may be able to do without having to run up and downstairs, for example, or that you may be able to do if you are not a hearing person. They have been there a long time. They are a wonderful resource for our community, and they are very helpful when they can't reach the people who need service in referring people who need help and service to other organizations. And so it is my very great pleasure, for not the first time and probably not the last time, to recognize the West Side Center for Independent Living in this particular moment for outstanding service to the deaf community of Los Angeles, and to present this to Marianne Jones with my thanks.
Thank you, Ruth.
Muchas gracias, Ruth.
It is my pleasure to be here today,
un gran placer
and
estar aquí
especially
el
in
día de hoy,
such illustrious
especialmente
company.
en compañía
As an
tan
organization that
importante
provides
como una
programs
organización que
and
provee
advocacy
programas
on
y
behalf of people with all
apoyo a
types of
personas con
disabilities.
todo
We
tipo de
understand
incapacidades. Entendemos
the unique challenges that face people who have, quote, the
los
hidden disabilities. And
únicos
there's
que las
enough
personas
of the barrier removal and work to be done to integrate people with all types of disabilities into the community that I applaud organizations like GLAD and the Office of Disability for the City of Los Angeles, and thank Ruth for this honor, and again, I'm pleased to be here and appreciative to be in such good company.
I'd now like to ask Sharon Droher, President of the Jewish Deaf Community Center, to join me. This is another organization that provides very valuable service to the Los Angeles community, and it does so by helping deaf people in the Valley, primarily, to participate not only in the larger community, but specifically as part of the Jewish community. The center provides a lecture series, kosher dinners, cultural activities, and religious programs and services in sign language, including the Passover Seder. This June, the center will celebrate 10 years of service, and they are led at this moment by Sharon Ann Droher, here with me today. She founded this organization in 1992. She has 3 children who are deaf, and she knows the importance of helping to integrate those who have difficulty hearing in with the hearing right from the time they're born. And so we want to congratulate you, and I have for your center, really for you because you started it, a recognition of your outstanding service to the Los Angeles community. Please join me in welcoming Sharon. I can't applaud and hold this at the same time. Okay, here we are. There you go. Put your hand up. There you go. You want to say thank you?
I want to thank you for having me here today, and thank you for all the community support that I've been through, the deaf community and the hearing communities. And I also want to thank my parents for raising me and teaching me how to do community services. And now I'd like to, the reward is all the people participating in our program. And thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Gracias, señor presidente. Gracias, señora Galanter.
Thank you, Council President. That concludes our presentation on deaf awareness. You have one? I apologize. Come on up.
Thank you very much. They're all work now. Okay. Sorry about that. I folded nicely now for the next person.
Let's give everyone a big hand.
Un gran aplauso para todos.
Mr. President, members of council, and Ed especially, I'd like to recognize the great work of Hector Rivera in honor of National Deaf Awareness Month. Hector has the challenges, and he wears a severe hearing aid, but his heart is big as anybody in the park system. He is a former superintendent of the Ferndale section of Griffith Park, where he revitalized that historic corridor and has such love. And also, but the great program that he has done is he started the workfare program for the park, where they got people off the welfare rolls, helping out in Griffith Park and other parks, and then getting city jobs when qualified. He's a tremendous man. He's also here with Bernie Bahama and Al Rosa in the back there, who say when they don't want to hear Hector say anything, they kid Hector a lot, but he's an inspiration to all of us. So it's my pleasure as councilman in the 4th District to salute you, Hector, on this day in Deaf Awareness Month, and know that you're a very special person, that you read lips better than anybody in Los Angeles. See you. Also, he greatly maintains any vandalism that takes place at the Hollywood sign. He and his crew climb those 30-foot letters and keep them clean for all of Los Angeles. Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you, Mr. Ray.
Thank you, Councilmember Labange. Last but not least, and again, I need to profusely thank them for their patience. I'd like to ask the next group, the One Institute and Archives, to step up. As they walk up, I'd like to explain a little bit about who we are honoring here. One Institute and Archives collects and preserves materials related to gay communities, such as records relating to the GLBT civil rights movement, which stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered people. Over the years, they have preserved political, personal, and medical struggles involving HIV, AIDS, and GLBT minority groups. They have created one of the world's largest GLBT archival collections, to be found anywhere, including books, periodicals, and personal papers. One Institute was founded in 1952 as part of the homophile movement predating Stonewall. In 1957, its one magazine was confiscated by the U.S. Post Office and was only allowed into circulation because of action taken by the Supreme Court. Members, all of us who have been in the struggles at various levels of the civil rights movement know what it means to preserve that history. One Institute and Archives has done that, that preserved our history as Angelenos. I am proud to say that they reside in my district. It is with great pleasure that I would like to present the certificate to its board members who are here with us today, and they are Lynn Syke, the President, Mike Thompson, Vice President, Stuart Timmons, the Chairman of Development, and Yolanda Rader. Again, I'd like to present this resolution. Thank you so much for your great work. And again, appreciate all of your patience.
Thank you, Councilman Reyes. I'm Lynn Syke, President of the Board of One Institute and Archives. 50 years ago in the city of Los Angeles, America's oldest gay and lesbian organization was founded and continues to thrive today. This weekend, we are celebrating our golden anniversary, and we would like to invite all members of the community, members of the City Council, all citizens of Los Angeles, 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon, 909 West Adams Boulevard, just north of USC. We're deeply honored by this recognition from the city. We thank Councilman Reyes and the City Council.
Conocimiento de la ciudad.
Thank you
Gracias al
very
concejal
much.
Reyes y al Ayuntamiento de Los Ángeles por ese gran honor.
Buenos días, agradecemos este honor y los invitamos a todos que vengan al archivo a visitarnos. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much for this honor. In honoring our organization, you are honoring the gay and lesbian community of Los Angeles and celebrating its ongoing contribution to this great city that we live in. Thank you very much.
Again, thank you, Council President. And let's fill the seat. Mi mamá y todas las madres en español, feliz Día de las Madres. Y que pasamos un fin de semana lindosa con nuestras familias. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Mr. Reyes. Ms. Misikowski.
Señora Misikowski.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to have the 2 members who are here from LAPRAC join me. One of them was actually up here a little earlier when we gave the presentation to Christine Devine. We're familiar with LAPRAC, the Los Angeles Police Revolver and Athletic Club, whose purpose is to maintain the rich heritage and tradition and values of the Los Angeles Police Academy and Los Angeles Police Department. And so it endeavors to promote the morale, welfare, and wellness of the men and women of LA Police Department. This Saturday is a special day. It is going to be the 24th annual Los Angeles Police Department Memorial Relay Day, a race that has been run in preserving this particular year is going to be preserving the memory of those who have lost their lives to protect not only the citizens of Los Angeles, which is the annual tradition, but particularly to focus this year on 9/11. And it is a family event that will be sponsoring will be sponsored by LAPRAC to honor the memories of all of those who have served. I have here with me today Sergeant Mike Sayer and Sergeant Crump, who are here to receive the resolution, but the resolution ultimately does hereby declare that Saturday, May 11th, is the 24th annual Los Angeles Police Department Memorial Relay Day, and it extends best wishes to the members of LAPRAC, its board of directors, and to the family and its continued support of LAPD, and to mention that the recipients of the funds raised at this event will be for the work of the families of our fallen officers. So Sergeant Sayer and Sergeant Crump, thank you for staying here and receiving this, and our best wishes for a great relay day.
Thank you. Mr. President, City Council, the shirts that were given all to you has a badge on it, and in the badge are all the officers who have lost their lives that are brothers and sister officers of the Los Angeles Police Department. Fortunately, this year we haven't added any names to this badge. However, represented by the flag was brought to our sober attention on Baker to Vegas, our Challenge Cup relay a few weeks ago, that where we honored the New York Police Department officers who have lost their lives, and the situation that the country's in and that the city's in, and that daily officers and public safety people go out into the streets risking their lives for people they don't know, they've never heard of, nor they will never know. And they're dedicated to their calling, and we just thank the City Council and Mrs. Misikowski for such recognition to our organization, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Nos da mucho placer estar aquí.
Well, thank you very much for that presentation. We now recognize Mr. Padilla for a presentation.
Para una presentación.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Is your arm getting tired? Carrying that torture around? Colleagues, I usually save my presentations till the end, but I just learned a minute ago that you have a final at 1 o'clock. So we got to get her back to school. Mayra Torres is with us today. And as you can see, she's holding in her hand the Olympic torch from these 2002 Winter Olympics that she had the great fortune and honor to carry through the city of Los Angeles. And she, along with Rayford Johnson, were able to light the torch over at the Coliseum. And so I wanted to bring her in for a special recognition of that honor, as well as all her great work in the community, her success academically. In a few weeks, she'll be graduating from San Fernando High School and making her way to Berkeley to begin her studies at Cal. But certainly the honors, the role model that she is for her peers and for all the children in the Northeast Valley throughout the city, and the honor that she had been bestowed upon to be able to carry the torch, and the wonderful story that she has, young woman growing up in the San Fernando Valley as a woman, as a Latina, and as a daughter of immigrants, like I'm a child of immigrants, really captures a lot of what Los Angeles is about. So I wanted to bring her in for this great special recognition and presentation, and maybe ask her to say a few words.
She deserves a big round of applause.
No, I just want to thank Councilman Alex Padilla, and I just thank you very much for this recognition.
Welcome. I know your mom is here today. She's not here? Or is she going to be watching at home? Okay, felicidades y feliz Día de las Madres. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Padilla. Now, Ms. Gruhl, have you made your presentation? Now is your opportunity. Thank you. Sir, how are you? May the Lord bless you. Welcome our city attorney back. Not been here for a while. He's getting comfortable in his seat. Ms. Gruhl, the floor is yours before the city attorney has an outburst. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Mark Ridley Thomas. This is my first time to stand up and do a presentation here as the new council member, so I'm pleased that the first time is to acknowledge Mary Lee Tiernan. Many of you who may be familiar with the Foothill area, we used to have a paper called the Foothill Leader. During, I think it was February, if I'm correct, February was the last edition of the Foothill Leader. And so many of us in that neighborhood counted on that newspaper to tell us what was happening, what were the important issues in the Sunland, Tujunga, and Foothill area. My community, that is extraordinarily active, decided when that paper closed that we still needed to have a paper in the Sunland, Tujunga area. These two ladies behind me, Mary Lee Tiernan and Doris Horwath, took the bull by the horns, and many community leaders. They met and talked about how can we help fund a new Foothill newspaper. I'm pleased to say that they've had the inaugural edition. It's now called the Foothill Sentinel. And it started from a project called the Community Calendar, which Mary Lee had been producing for many years, and now they made it into a newspaper, thanks to the help and direction of Doris as well, who has printed it and helped Mary Lee in this endeavor. It's a wonderful first paper, and I have to tell you a quick story how newspapers can make a difference. There's an article in this newspaper about a project in the Tujunga area called Ora Vista Park. It's on our Prop K list, and hopefully when it comes to you, we will fund it. But a group had bought this property unbeknownst to us in the middle of this process. But they didn't know about our plans, and they read it in the Foothill Sentinel on a Friday at church and found out that the city wanted to make it a park. So they called us the next week and said, how can we work together to make sure that it's still a park and we still get our church in the community? So the Foothill Sentinel is already making a difference in our neighborhood. The only complaint I have, though, Mary Lee, is you interviewed my mother for an article in this paper, and if those of you remember the stories she told during my inauguration, she repeated them to Mary Lee, and so now they're in print. But other than that, it's an extraordinarily exciting opportunity for the Foothill area, and I just want to commend Mary Lee and Doris for their true leadership in making sure that the news gets to the Sunland, Tujunga, and Foothill area. Congratulations.
Ma'am, would you like to
Señora,
have
¿le
a few words?
gustaría decir unas cuantas palabras?
From the time I was in high school, I always wanted to be a journalist. And here I am 500 years later, and I finally made it. So one should just never give up hope. Thank you very much.
Spoken like a true journalist, ma'am. I appreciate that.
Como una gran reportera, muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilperson Gruhl. You did a wonderful job on your first presentation. We're going to give you another round of applause. All right, are there other members wishing to make presentations? The chair now recognizes the inevitable historian, Tom LaBonge. Historiographer.
Mr. President, members of council, with me today is, and Eric Garcetti would be with you right now, but he's out speaking to the community, so, which is so important up in Hollywood. But with me today is Peter Shire, one of the greatest artists who's a homegrown resident of Echo Park, and also as well as Isaac Burks, who's with us today. He's a firefighter from Engine 56 in Silver Lake, and in fact, he's coming in off duty tomorrow to help at Fire Service Day. But Peter had a commission by the federal government, and it's great when our Los Angeles artists get a commission to go inspire others. And he had a commission in Brownsville, Texas, one of the most southern points of the great United States, where his work now is a welcoming gateway of the border crossing. And I gave them a commendation and deputized them as good deputies of the city of Los Angeles. And when they went to Brownsville, they made a presentation to the mayor of Brownsville and the council, and now in return, Peter has come back. You can see his artwork on the table there, and for those of you who travel Los Angeles, you know his work on the metro system and the Wilshire, Vermont station in the great 10th district led by Nate Holden, as well as in Elysian Park and Ed Reyes' first district at Angels Point, which is a beautiful work that's in deep left field if you look at the park, and that's also over at the Gateway Building for MTA. Please welcome Peter Shire, artist.
Peter Shire, artista.
Thank you very much. As we took a proclamation from the city of LA to Brownsville, in friendship, they gave one to the city of LA. And here it is, a proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, recognizing the bond of friendship between the city of Brownsville, Texas, and the city of Los Angeles, California. So as well as hands across the border, we've got hands across the nation. And as they like to remind us in Brownsville, if you flip Texas over, you'll get to LA. It's the same distance. So where we stayed in South Padre Island, we told them about Tom LaBonge, the amazing council. Yeah, but we're not. And the amazing councilman of the 4th District who, and, you know, we've heard all this kind of stuff today, but it's true. In this case, the tireless devotion, and we saw a family get an award for 127 years of service, and we think that perhaps Tom LaBonge is going to rack that up in one lifetime. Wait, I gotta get my award for Tom.
That's very nice.
And it says here, presented to Tom LaBonge from South Padre Island by Isaac Burks and Peter Shire.
That's wonderful. We bought it off a vacant lot down there at the gas station. But God bless you, this is why Peter's a great artist. Isaac thinks you can rock. No, thank you. That's very beautiful. Love me tender. And this is Isaac Burks, a firefighter, Engine 56, the most cultured firefighter in the city of Los Angeles.
Mr. President, City Council, citizens of Los Angeles, it is a pleasure to be here this morning. We did go down to Texas and erect this scale model of the sculpture that Peter erected. It's called Concrete Dimensions and Imaginary Lines. If you look at the yellow figure in the middle, you can see that this figure is a cowboy dude, and he seems to be going both directions, depending on which way you're looking at it. So it's very appropriate that it be put on the border of Matamoros, Mexico, and Brownsville, Texas, at the INS border site. Thank you all very much, and have a rest of a nice day.
Mr. President, I just wanted to again congratulate Peter Shire and the fire department for this effort, but also to let all the members of the council know that as we have been looking at what we're going to be building with Proposition F, Proposition K, new fire stations, new animal shelters, new police stations, and new libraries, that one additional fund benefit of opening those is each of those are required to have a 1% public art commitment. So in addition to choosing great architects for those projects, we've also been choosing great artists to do projects that complement the buildings and the communities and the setting they are in. And Peter Shire has been an artist who has been so selected time and again, and many of his wonderful artwork grace our city in all of our different communities, but it's just an extra benefit. So after you are working with the project management and general service on the projects themselves, make sure General Services and Cultural Affairs brings you in to look at the competition for the art pieces in each of those buildings, so you can see the fun trim and addition that will be made throughout our city by artists such as Peter, and specifically Peter, who's done great pieces throughout the city. So thank you for that, and I commend all my colleagues to work with the Cultural Affairs to create other great art pieces throughout our city.
Thank you all, Mr. President, members of the council.
Thank you, Mr. Labange. I believe that concludes the presentation segment of today's meeting. Members, any other presentations? Then seeing none, Mr. Clerk, next order of business, please.
Item number 7 on the regular agenda is an item for which public hearing has not been held. It's called special by Councilmember Holden.
Okay, Councilmember called item number 7 special. I recall Councilmember Weiss also moving a public hearing on the matter. Then without objection, we shall reopen the public hearing and call forward at this time Leslie Mintz. If you're still with us, you deserve an award.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. First, I would like to thank the Board of Public Works for noticing the environmental groups that this item was on calendar, and for their encouragement to the Bureau of Sanitation to contact us. I think that it bodes well for everyone. It's a first step at cooperation, and although we did not reach agreement on certain key elements of the Bureau of Sanitation's suggested letter regarding the state 303D list of impaired water bodies, it was refreshing to have an open dialogue before the fact, and we are very appreciative of that and extend our thanks to the Bureau of Sanitation. The one key element that Gilda Bay disagrees with in the city's letter of support is the watch list concept. As an overarching premise, we believe that the 303D list must err on the side of protecting human health and the environment. A watch list is fundamentally not in accord with this premise. The city's letter, in fact, approaches the watch list in a manner that typifies to us an abuse of the watch list concept. Specifically, the city's letter basically requests the state board to use the watch list as a holding pen for waters that the city wants to identify the particular sources of pollution. TMDLs are meant to address that issue, not the watch list. If you have narrative criteria like scum or odor, or other biological criteria like toxicity, the watch list should only be used if there is not enough data to identify that those things exist to begin with. It's not appropriate to put a water on the list just because you want to find out exactly why there's scum, or why there's odor, or why there's toxicity. Again, TMDLs are meant to address that issue. Finally, as far as delisting, we oppose delisting based upon the mere completion of a TMDL, or even if there is an alternative enforceable program. Let's face it, alternative enforceable programs haven't worked. That's why there's TMDLs. And as far as the completion of a TMDL, well, we have to believe that water should stay on the 303D list until water quality standards are achieved. It's interesting to note that the AB 982 State Public Advisory Group on TMDLs had a consensus item of agreement on this point. An impaired water segment needs to attain water quality standards, and that assessment is an empirical assessment, not a legal assessment.
If I may ask you to conclude, please.
Okay. Finally, I would like to say that I hope the state evinces in its final letter some support. The city evinces support of the state list. I think this is a great opportunity for the city to leverage actually supporting a state action when issues have been so controversial between the city and the state. And I would encourage the city to do so both at the workshops that are upcoming and in its final letter. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This concludes public comment on item number 7. Item 7 called special by Mr. Holt.
Would the department want to make any comments on this? You're not here?
Is department staff here on item number 7?
Oh, yeah, she was. Andiamo.
Give us a brief summary of the item, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Tracy Minamidi from the Department of Public Works Bureau of Sanitation. We are requesting approval from council to submit written comments and make oral testimony at the State Water Resources Control Board regarding the proposed 2002 list of impaired water bodies. We've prepared a comment letter that has been submitted, and we are here asking for approval to submit that letter.
Mr. President, members, you go ahead, ma'am.
If I may address a few comments made by Ms. Minsk. In terms of the watch list, the concept of the watch list has actually been proposed by the State Water Resources Control Board. The city is simply supporting the state's proposal in that regard. We have had discussion with Hilda Bay regarding our comments, and we've actually made 3 changes to our comment letter based upon the discussions that we have had.
Mr. President, members, I think this is a good proposal. It's a resolution that we should adopt forthwith and provide an opportunity to the department to state their point of view, at least their statement to the State Resource Water Control Board. And it could be beneficial in one way. For example, on this watch list, we would know what water bodies where there are really contaminants, and the resources could be used to clean it up, and rather than slipshod haphazardly expend resources to clean water bodies when their pollutants hadn't reached the level where the concern should be high. And so this is a good idea, that's been proposed by EPA, and we are falling in line. Other states have such a list already. I might add, however, that to respond to the concerns of the Hilda Bay people, one of the paragraphs in the resolution clearly states that whereas the city support the State Water Resources Control Board policy for watch listing, instead of listing on the 3OD list water bodies that have an alternative enforceable program in place, such as the California Protection and Toxic Cleanup Program, and the NPDES permit, the city requests that other water bodies with alternative enforcement programs be watch listed as well. But so therefore, if the Hilda Bay is more of a stringent requirement, and that's what we're doing right now, then it doesn't have to be on the list to determine that that's a body should be on the list. because we're already doing that. We'll do no less than what we're doing now with this program that we're trying to implement. We'll do that at least and more. And so, Mr. President, members, I ask that we adopt this resolution forthwith. We have to meet the deadline of getting our comments in, I think the 16th or by the 16th, and certainly no later than the 30th, the board discuss its program entirely. But I want to add one other instruction, that we instruct the Bureau of Sanitation to report to the EQWM committee in 3 weeks on all upcoming proposed and potential TMDLs that they expect to appear next year, to surface the next year. All right?
Thank you, Mr. Holden. Mr. Weiss.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I wanted to ask the staff who are here at the table today if you could respond to the comments from the Gila Bay representative about the watch list. And basically, as I understand, the concern is we don't want to see a watch list become basically a parking lot for problems. That's what we're driving at. What you said earlier was that you were working with Gila Bay and that you were hearing their concerns and you're trying to address them. You've already indicated you made some changes in your position. That's a healthy process. So I guess when I say I'd like to have you respond to their comments, I hope it won't just be a response, but a description of how you're going to be taking, how you've been taking their comments into account and how you're going to continue taking their comments and concerns into account on the future on this issue. If you have a direct response, then I'd like to hear that as well.
Yes, we have been specifically instructed by our Board of Public Works to inform the environmental groups when we are bringing items before council. So there's definitely a move being made by the Department of Public Works to communicate more closely with the environmental groups. And this was our first effort with those new instructions. And it was very helpful. As I said, we did make some changes. There were some items, the watch list in particular, that we really believed we needed to continue to support the state's position. In terms of it becoming a parking lot, that's not the case because there are specific requirements that say that a water body can only remain on that watch list for 2 years. Studies need to be done to show whether it in fact needs to be put on the 303D list or is not a concern. So there are specific time limits that are placed in the rule that require it to be addressed.
Mr. Reyes.
First, I want to thank you for your work in this process. What I find a little I have a concern in that it looks like we're trying to do a one-size-fits-all type of policy. And what I'm focused on is knowing the layout of the city and how different areas have a greater propensity for contaminating our waterways. Because you have the river flowing through the city, and you have it flowing through the industrial yards, the rail yards, the areas in where you have a stronger presence of M1, M2, M3 zones, along with where the areas where the freeways are located. So we look at water runoff from the freeways, from street services, from contaminated brownfield locations, you're going to have a different level of contamination. So for us to look at trying to essentially weaken this policy with a blanket policy, I don't think it's the right direction. And for example, on your comment 3, on your building and safety report, each effluent dependent dominant waterway, EDW, should be considered on a case-by-case basis. And yes, can you hold my time, please?
Usted tiene la carta de comentarios incorrectos. Ese fue uno de los asuntos que sí estuvimos de acuerdo con un grupo para bienestar ambiental.
So I'm going by the report that was given to my office.
Basándome en el reporte que se entregó a mi oficina, hay una carta con comentarios que ha sido aclarado quizás, porque no hablamos acerca de estos asuntos, que sí estuvimos de acuerdo con estos grupos.
We did strike out our reference to sediment toxicity.
And the
Llegamos a acuerdo en
final
cuanto a la
change
contaminación.
that we made was
Y los
adding
cambios que
a
hicimos
question
fue
to the
agregar una
state board
pregunta a la
about
Junta
their
Estatal
funding
acerca
with
de los
regards to the
fondos.
watch list. When
Tanto,
items get put on the watch list, it's going to
artículos de esta
require
lista, con
additional
esos asuntos
monitoring
están en esta
to be
lista
done in the next
requerirán
two-year cycle.
investigación
Where is that
nacional que
funding
será en
going
los
to come
próximos
from,
2
and
años
who's going to be
donde
responsible
van
for doing that monitoring?
vamos a
So we
recibir esos
added
fondos
that
y quién es responsable
to
para esa
our comment
investigación.
number 6 as subset C.
Okay, so let me just kind of go through my list and then you can tell me if I've got the updated report or
el
not.
reporte actualizado.
In the proposed 2002 section 303D, this watch list, building and safety comments 7 and 9, at a minimum request that funding
La
support
petición mínima que
regional
sería
boards in evaluating
apoyo
waters for
regional para
inclusion
evaluar
on the
aguas para
303
ser
list,
incluidas en esta
accompanying the
lista.
implementation of the state
Junto con la
listing policy funding.
implementación, permite que
Again, we need to start bringing resources to the table and how we deal with these issues.
Tenemos que traer
It's a
estos
regional
recursos
issue,
a la mesa, es un
but the
asunto
main
regional,
waterway
pero
channels come
los
through our
canales
city.
principales de agua
And when you
pasan a
have
través de nuestra
the
ciudad, cuando
harbor,
tiene usted el
airport, and other
aeropuerto y
major
otros
facilities that are
lugares
also
principales que
a
también
contributor to this contamination.
esta
Those are the
contaminación.
types
Esos son los tipos de
of understandings we should have in
entendimiento
trying to
que
be a little
tenemos que
bit more,
tener al
how
tratar
can I
de
say this,
ser un poquito
tailored in
más
our approach in dealing with the mitigation.
específicos
Now, we have an incredible
nuestro
opportunity, and it's something I'll
plan
discuss with the
de tratar
department
con
in the future, is how we start using
asunto.
the gray water
Nosotros
systems,
cómo
how we start
empezar a
using
usar los
natural
sistemas, cómo empezar a
wetland
usar
habitats, how we start actually greening
lugares
locations that have historically been industrial in nature
al
as part of
público
this
y también
mitigation, and how
lugares
we
que
establish a different way of looking at our waterway systems and treatment of our waterways. So it's literally breaking out of this box that we find ourselves in and being more creative in how we approach it.
tenemos que ser
As
más
chairman of land use and management,
más
that's the
creativos.
direction I'd like for us to
en
go
este
from a land use
proceso.
policy point of view, because it's not just a water issue,
solamente
it's
un
how
asunto
we
de agua, es
allocate
también cómo
our space, how we determine
apagamos
the
nuestro
functions of our
espacio
city,
y las
and how
funciones de
we
nuestra ciudad y
become
cómo
basically
podemos ser
opportunistic
básicamente
in creating our green
oportunistas
spaces
para crear
that have a
más lugares
multiplicity
verdes que tienen
of
una
benefits
variedad de
if we
beneficios
choose to look
si
at it differently.
optamos mirarlo
And that's something that I would
diferentemente.
be
Eso es algo
strongly
que
pushing
voy
throughout my
a
term here.
apoyar en todo mi tiempo aquí.
Thank you, Mr.
Gracias, señor Reyes.
Ms. Hahn.
Señora Han.
Thank you, Mr.
Gracias,
President.
señor presidente.
While I'm in support of this resolution today, I do have a couple of concerns and questions you might be able to answer. Obviously, I was very concerned when I realized, I have 14 bodies of water that were included on the 1998 list just in my district, and apparently there's 11 more pollutants that will now be on the watch list. I don't have any new bodies of water. We've just found new pollutants in those same bodies of water. I guess I just want to know for the record, and I think for those people who are watching, particularly those people who are very concerned about this, maybe help us understand how it helps, or why is it a better idea to put these on the watch list as opposed on the 303D list. And mainly, I think I'm interested in how does that alter our obligation. Obviously, I believe there's some federal help available if they're on the 303D list. Does it lessen our obligation if they're on the watch list? Do we have the resources we're talking about that can also be directed if they're only on the watch list? And I'm concerned, and then separately, I would also like the Bureau of Sanitation to report back to the EQ committee on my concern is, and I'm speaking for my district, but I think it impacts the whole city, really, what is the comprehensive list of these pollutants, these bodies of water? What are we doing right now in terms of trying to mitigate that with the TMDL? Where are we? What's the status? I guess my other question is, how do these bodies of water ultimately get off this list? And is that just with establishing a TMDL? Is it remediating it? Or how, I'm concerned that not only are mine not off the 98 list, but I'm getting new pollutants that are creeping in on this list. And I'd like to know what we can do, what you're doing. How can I feel better about particularly these 14 bodies of water that are in my district? So I asked you a lot of things. I hope you can respond to them.
Okay. First of all, the Regional Water Quality Control Board in the Los Angeles region is working very diligently on this program. They have a schedule through a consent decree that requires them to develop TMDLs for our region on a given time schedule. So that program has been laid out. As part of the development of those regulations, of course, the City of Los Angeles is very actively involved. There are studies that are going on where the city is participating and the regional boards are participating and the environmental groups are participating. So this is definitely being addressed. In terms of getting on and getting off the list, this list itself is very critical because it is the starting point, and it's important to recognize that what we're trying to do is prioritize these efforts, or what the state and the regional boards are trying to do is prioritize them. When they propose a watch list, they're doing so because they want to expand their funds in developing TMDLs on those water bodies that are on the 303D list, where data shows that these are definitely impaired for specific pollutants. The watch list then requires that they be on there for no more than 2 years, and during those 2 years that studies be done to really find out where we're at and whether or not that water body needs to be on the 303D list for particular pollutants.
You know, but in my situation, my bodies of water are already on the list, but it's the new pollutants that are on the watch list. Is that correct?
And what they'll do for those new pollutants on your watch list is the next 2 years, there'll be specific monitoring that'll be done for those pollutants, and then that additional data that's found out will be submitted to the regional board at the end of those 2 years. The board will use that to evaluate whether that pollutant actually is impairing that water body or not. So obviously they're only on the watch list because there wasn't enough data for those 11 pollutants. There wasn't enough data for the state board to decide, is this impairing the water body or not? So we're going to get more
So our
data.
obligation is really just to watch, not really to not really begin doing any sort of remediation.
Not remediation, it'll be monitoring.
Until we realize at the end of the 2 years that possibly those have created this impairment.
Exactly.
And then we go into.
Then you would get on the big 303D list, and then a TMDL would be scheduled. Right now, the state and the regional boards are both, they've got like 10 to 15 years worth of schedules already developed for TMDLs throughout the state. So any new listings are going to probably be lower prioritized because the major pollutants of concern have already been listed in the past 90 days.
And the resources for the monitoring and the watching come from where?
That's the big question, and that's the question we posed in our comment letter to the state. Of course, the city, I think the Bureau of Sanitation wants to get more data that's actually based on QA/QC. You know, we have our own lab that can do some of the work, and we want to probably monitor what is going on in that water body for that pollutant. So we would probably make that recommendation in the future if we do get put on the watch.
And as part of the monitoring and watching, determining the underlying cause of why for instance, why I suddenly found 11 more pollutants in the already polluted bodies of water. Is that part of the monitoring or part of the data that will be collected?
Yes, that's the idea.
That's the idea, yes. Okay.
There is a program that's being implemented right now called the Bay Protection Toxic Cleanup Program, which the state feels is very effective in cleaning up the sediment in the harbor.
Thank you very much. Mr. Reyes.
Thank you, Councilman. Just a couple of points. One is the report that you're submitting for us to make a decision on today. Does it incorporate the issues that were raised by the Hilda Bay folks in your discussions? Have we been able to reach an understanding? Because now that you're telling me that the report I have is not the updated one, I'm not sure what we're voting on. What are the terms or what are the understandings that were written that reflect the concerns of Hilda Bay? Can you give me some insight to that? For my time, please.
We deleted a section that referenced, requested that the state continue to do some studies on effluent-dominated waterways. After speaking with Heal the Bay, we agreed that that comment was on the outside in terms of relating to the topic at hand, which is the impaired water body list. So we agreed to remove that comment altogether. It's a separate issue that can be addressed separately. So that was one change. We just deleted comment number 3, I believe it is. We also added in a series of questions to the regional board, a question about when studies need to be done, when a water body is on the watch list, where will the funding come from to do those studies and that monitoring? So that was simply a question that we added in agreement with Heal the Bay.
Okay.
Heal the Bay.
Right. In addition, we deleted the sediment toxicity, which Heal the Bay had issue with. And actually, we went over sent them our comment letter with the strikeout version, and Leslie seemed very happy with the compromises that we had made. And basically, bottom line, the only things that we're not agreeing on is the state's use of a watch list.
Now, what's our sense of urgency of passing this today? Are we within some certain time constraints here? Is there legal, monetary issues? Why are we pushing so hard to get it passed today?
The state requires our comments to be submitted by next Thursday.
By when?
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday, so we voted on this on Tuesday. Would you still meet your deadline?
The mayor's office needs time to grant their concurrence.
So basically, you're asking the council to sign off on something that we don't have before us that really tells us what was agreed upon.
There was supposed to be a revised comment letter passed out to all the council offices this morning.
This morning?
Yes.
So the revised comments were supposed to be viewed by us by this morning, because we got it this morning. And you want us to make a decision within the 2-3 hours we're doing council business.
Well, we did do briefings all week long with 7 of the council offices, and we did outline the issues, the changes that we were making in our progress with Heal the Bay on this issue.
Okay, we'll set that aside for a second. TMD house, big issue. My understanding, we have, 92 locations or 92 sites? Can you explain that a little bit?
The way the listing works is bodies of water are listed based on pollutant impairments. And on some bodies of water, such as the LA River, they break those water bodies down to like 5 different segments. And each segment can actually be listed for a different pollutant and not necessarily the entire water body. So the different numbers coming from the regional board, sometimes it's based on how many water bodies are impaired or actually the pollutant. Now what the Bureau of Sanitation has done is organize that a little bit, and for our water bodies, we're going to have 67 TMDLs. That can include multiple water bodies or multiple pollutants that will be addressed, the regional board plans to address in one specific TMDL.
So those 67 or 92, whatever that number is, how many have we actually completed or addressed to any level?
The trash TMDL has actually gone through the state board and actually has an EPA approved version. So that one's kind of close to completion. The other ones that has been signed up, at least by the regional board, is the dry weather for the coliform TMDL.
How many are there of the total?
There would be 3 in the works, one final, 2 final, 3 in the works.
So you got 2 final, 3 in the works out of 62 or 92?
67.
67.
Yes.
So we're going very slowly. Meantime, the ocean is getting contaminated, our waterways are getting worse, there's more people moving to Los Angeles, and we still have increasing population in terms of, and impacts due to everything that comes with our conditions, correct?
Yes.
So how realistic is it that we're doing this in a manner that's real?
The consent decree that was signed with the Regional Water Quality Control Board and the EPA put them on a 13-year schedule to complete these TMDLs. So this is a schedule that the regional board is following. We are participating in it, but they are the ones that are obligated to comply with the given schedule.
Okay, believe me, I'm not here to chastise or be, ugly about
what we're not doing. I'm here to understand how we can make it more efficient. How do we start working as a city family to address this very important issue? Because the areas of greatest impact are going to be those areas that are closest to where the pollutant sources are located. And we all know where those areas are at. So how we're going to get proactive and how we make those changes is going to be important.
Yes, and I believe that the watch list is actually going to help with that. TMDLs, as you can tell from the past experience, is taking 2+ years to finish a TMDL. By watch listing these water bodies and using existing enforcement programs to improve that pollutant in that area will be a benefit because you won't have to wait for the entire TMDL process to be finished. You can use the existing permits to ratchet down on those pollutant levels and improve that water body immediately.
I'll be real frank with you. I really believe we need to look at how we start shifting our culture in our city and how we start looking at these issues before working with Mr. Woody Wilson on that issue. But then how do we start actually changing the mechanics in our departments in your particular area that allows us to be a little more creative, a little bit more proactive in how we reach our goals. And with that, I look forward to working with you on that. But today, excuse me, today, quite frankly, I don't believe, I think you put us in a very difficult situation to vote on something. You've only briefed 7 members. It's obviously we come to 8. You're hoping maybe another one will vote on it to meet your deadline. And I think there's a problem with that. If we're really going to be working together, we should not be put in this position to make decisions on very critical policies that, quite frankly, puts us in a very contentious position between the city and the state.
Apologize for that. This is a result of a new process or procedure that our board has directed us to do in terms of contacting the environmental groups. And as a result of that, it caused us to come really up to the wire here in working with the environmental groups and agreeing to make some changes that put us up into the position we are today. We'll definitely be taking that into consideration in future schedules as we comment on regulations.
My good feeling is we should wait till Tuesday to vote on this, give us a chance to look at what are the real language changes, and work with the mayor's office to make your deadline for Thursday. Maybe we can invite the mayor's person to work with us, and so we can focus on this in a manner that I think give it the importance it deserves.
Mr. Reyes, is there a motion to continue? Is there a second? Mr. Zine seconds. Mr. Holden.
You can't continue. We got to look to do nothing. Is to leave things the way they are and then don't have the information. Knowledge gives you an opportunity to correct the problem. You've got to do the study. If it's not something that EPA is against, they're for it. And they're for it because they want to have a cleaner environment, at least the opportunity to provide a cleaner environment. Now let me tell you this. You're concerned about water bodies being contaminated, then the city ought to do something about it. They didn't want to license you, and that's why they had the TMDL program. And we said we didn't have enough money to fix all the catch basins. Do our job and close the catch basins. Put a screen in every single one of them for $5 billion. You don't have that money. Now you just have limited resources. If we work in cooperation with EPA and the state, all the boards, and learn where the pollutants are and what type of pollutants we have, then with the limited resources, we can request from the feds and or from the state and or complement what the shortfall is with the monies that we have available to clean up these water bodies. If you don't get your message heard, then you'll do nothing. To continue this, there's a deadline called the 16th of May that we have to have our report in and our oral comments made. Now we're going to do that, we're not going to do it. I don't care what you do at this point. If you have the knowledge, why we should have the information, and refuse to acquire the information, that's this body's problem, not mine. I've shared the information with you. The staff has. It's saying, let's be proactive. Let's find out where the problems are. And once they're defined, we take appropriate action to correct the problem if the resources are available for us to do that. If not, we'll ask the federal government for it, which we have done in the past. If not, we'll ask the state to help us, which we've done in the past. If not, we'll use the resources that we have available to clean it up on an incremental basis. Like, for example, we made a commitment to be 65% free in the next 5 years or whatever. Is that the next? In the next 5 years. Well, let us do more locally. Once we say that, with the shortfall we have now, we don't have the resources to do it. But we need to know, and then we also need to do what we can do to clean up our water bodies. And we're being proactive by supporting the resolution to acquire the information. I say no more. I rest.
Thank you, Mr. Holden. Ms. Mizikowski.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate Mr. Holden's passion and knowledge on this, and I think he's helped present that in a very persuasive manner. But I think the request by Mr. Reyes to continue until Tuesday allows us still to meet our deadline, to still be proactive, but allows some of us here, as was indicated, as you indicated, to do our job. As was indicated, there were some who didn't have the new letter, had an old letter, and it's already been changed, as the Bureau of Sanitation explained, in terms of meeting with the Heal the Bay and recognize some valid concerns they had in altering our request. But I think there's no harm done for all of us to become a little better informed, to get that detail, and continue this till Tuesday, still meet our deadline, still be proactive. And I want to compliment both the Bureau and Heal the Bay in terms of starting out today by saying that there was a new spirit, a new sense of cooperation, a new sense of getting involved before they come here. It's not going to be perfect, we're not always going to be 100% in agreement, but I think that we can do that, that we can understand, to learn where there has been agreement, and move forward with the recommendations that are made is appropriate. But let's go along with continuing until Tuesday.
Proceder continuando esto hasta el martes. Gracias.
Mr. Reyes.
Yes, Councilmember Holden, I truly respect your role as chairman of this committee. I understand what you're sharing with us. Quite frankly, I really believe that we should have a stronger focus on what's being presented to us today. And as a person who is living and in a district where I have the majority of zones that are industrial in nature, majority that have these kinds of problems and issues, I'm certain that what you are promoting is aligned with what the department is saying, but there is a clear disconnect as to how we're approaching this whole problem, this whole issue. And I truly would like more time to understand what these policy changes mean. I haven't had the opportunity, we just got it today.
It's not a policy change.
Well, all the recommendations that are being made, I want them to be consistent to what it is we're trying to do to make sure we're following the kinds of procedures that's going to make our ability to improve our water systems that much cleaner.
Mr. Reyes, we have to obtain the information first. All of the motion before us says that let's participate along with EPA and the State Water Quality Management Board and say, let's find out to the extent that we have the problem. That's all we're trying to obtain information. Now, if you want some more discrete information that relates to specific water bodies, this is the way we can get it not, and or you can have the department report back to you and to this body and to my committee on where these problems are and what we know about them at this particular time. That's uniquely different. And I understand your point that's well made, but all we're doing is asking for information. They have to prepare themselves for oral and written comments to the state board by a certain time. It takes time to get that together.
Councilman Holden, I truly believe
I understand your point.
the wrong message. We can start, if I can let this go through our desk or my desk and not know what we're signing off on, I'm just asking until Tuesday. We will still meet our deadline as long as the mayor is working with us.
Could the staff accommodate Mr. Reyes and tell him what we're doing today and try to associate with what he's requesting if there's a difference at all? Just say again what we're doing today with this motion, this resolution.
The comments the changes that we have made have only been deletions, except for the one statement where we added a question about funding. We can work with the mayor's office. I think that's where the tight point is going to be, is getting their concurrence in the short time frame.
List, I don't know something. We ask you to list all of the water bodies that may have pollutants and the type of pollutants. That's all this list will provide us. Is that correct or not correct? Well, then say that.
Yes, that's what this list is. It's a list of the impaired water bodies in the state of California.
I have a hard time I need to vote no if we're going to
voy a
be
votar
trying
no
to
si es
push
que
this
vamos a
today.
tratar de
I truly
aprobar
believe I
esto,
need
creo
the
yo que
extra time to
necesito más
understand what
tiempo
this
para
is.
entender de qué se trata.
What you're sharing with me is not
Lo
enough.
que está
I have 4
conmigo no es
pages
suficiente.
of
Tengo 4
technical language
páginas de
here
idioma
that has
técnico aquí
significant impact
que
on
tiene
how
un
we're
gran
dealing with this
impacto en
issue.
cómo estamos tratando con
And it's
este
such a great
asunto.
issue that we can no longer make this a secondary kind of item when we're asked to vote this way. It has these kinds of impacts on our environment. I just can't see that.
Well, let me ask you a separate question. Would this hurt to put it off until Tuesday in any way? How would this
Dañar
going to
esto,
affect your
posponerlo hasta el
timeline?
martes.
Well, as I said, the sticky point would be with the mayor's office because they would have the short turnaround for concurrence. The difficulty would be with the mayor's office because they will have a shorter time to review and concur with the resolution.
Reyes, did you hear that?
Llegar a un acuerdo
It limits the mayor's time in order to review the matter.
el tiempo con el alcalde
We need to send a message to the department. We need to send a message to our city family that the water issue is paramount for Southern California, for the city of LA.
All right, I tell you what, let's do that. Let's do that, let's do it till Tuesday. And then hear me now, Mr. Reyes. We know what we said that this motion and resolution would do. And when they come back on Tuesday, if there's nothing significantly different than what we are presenting today, then the only disadvantage is that we've shortened the time for the mayor to review the proposal.
All I'm saying is that this might be true in this detail today, but the way we're conducting business in the city and how we handle our water systems, how we handle our waterways, how we handle the Alley River is wrong. And this department, this city should be having a greater focus. This is very important. We should understand this much better. We should be much more creative in how we're taking care of our environment. And that's really why this bothers me so much.
Thank you, Mr. Reyes. Mr. Holden, did you then concur with the continuance?
Is it possible for you to sit with Mr. Reyes between 9, whatever, and explaining to him what this really does, that report? The back is just an attachment. It's nothing more than an attachment that we're going to submit to the State Resources Water Quality Board. But if he wants to wait until Tuesday, does this hurt you a lot? I know. Hey, what am I going to do?
It was just, we were instructed that communications between the CLA's office and the mayor's office with the scheduling of this whole document, that they had requested to come to council on Friday and not Tuesday to give them the time. So I guess we feel really uncomfortable answering for them.
Well, let me offer this then. Thank you, Mr. Holden. Thank you, Mr. Reyes. We understand how strong you both feel on the issue and on the timing of it as well. If there's not an extreme objection, let us continue this matter until Tuesday. Ask the appropriate staff to meet with Councilmember Reyes and any other council office that desires additional information. And in the meantime, there's nothing that precludes you from also, excuse me, staff?
The 14th? Tuesday's the 14th.
No, 14th, no.
The comments are due Thursday, the 16th.
No, we can't do that.
No podemos hacerlo.
Well, then we may have to get to a vote.
No, then I'm
Mr. Holden, please, we may have to get to a vote then on continuance. But let me also offer this. If this matter is continued until Tuesday the 14th, it does not preclude you from also meeting with the mayor and his staff to come up to speed even prior to council action. Ms. Hahn wishes to speak, and we have a motion to continue on the desk.
I just want to assure you, Mr. Reyes, I feel the same way you do. I mean, I think that was part of my concerns when I read the list that I have in CD 15 in terms of the bodies of water that were not only on the 98 list, but are on the current list, plus an added 11 pollutants. And that's why I'm saying, as a part of all this, I want them to come back and make a report on, when these pollutants were on the list, what are we doing to mitigate it, and then I want to have a whole comprehensive way that we do this creatively. I don't think this is what we're agreeing or allowing them to do today. And actually, according to the report, some of the comments they actually removed were because they got together with Heal the Bay and they actually made some compromises, and Heal the Bay, I think, was pleased with the fact that we ended up pulling some of the comments we were going to make. So in that effort, I'd like to congratulate both of you actually sitting down and making some compromises. I don't think what we're doing today in any way, Ed, prevents us as a city from changing the way we are addressing this issue. I have as much concern as you do, particularly for my part of the district. The harbor area is totally polluted, but that's not what we're allowing them to make comments on today.
I respect and appreciate what you're saying. My point is not the detail today. My point is how we're approaching this whole subject matter, how we've gotten to this point, and we need to be taken much more seriously. That's my point. That's how I feel. And it is a different subject. I agree with you. It is. But I have a right to stand here and say this is wrong, and I can walk out now, or I can just vote no.
Thank you, Mr. Reyes. Ms. Hahn, Mr. Holden, let us move forward with the vote on the motion to continue.
On Ms. Hahn's time, Mr. President, is it possible if you could work with the CLA office, the mayor's office, concurrently trying to get, expecting, when they can anticipate this is coming, and see if we can get a sign-off from the mayor between now and Tuesday and still hold it for Mr. Reyes' comments? Is that possible?
Yes, I believe so. We have submitted our comments to the mayor's office, so they have a preliminary.
They can start, just tell them to go to work on it, okay?
We can't continue it for Tuesday.
All right, then let's do that then.
I appreciate it,
Mr. Holden, is there an objection?
Mr. Reyes?
Mr. Holden, is there an objection to continue then until Tuesday? Seeing none, this matter is then continued to this Tuesday, May 14th. Thank you very much. A lot of people are going to be working this weekend. Members of the council, members of the public, a couple of quick announcements before we get to the next item. We have two of the, I believe, 4 matters remaining, including public comment for today's meeting. Still before us, we have folks here on item 16, which is a matter relative to security screeners at LAX, who have been waiting here patiently for several hours. We also have representatives here from employees at LAX, at McDonald's, and some other businesses, I believe as well, who have issues they wish to raise before us in the public comment section of today's meeting. We have 2 additional council items on the agenda. I regret to inform you that we have identified a suspicious package just outside the main entrance of council chambers, and I am being advised and recommended by General Services to vacate the council chambers. So I do apologize to the members of the public who have been sitting here patiently waiting to address the council, but I do feel compelled to continue the remaining matters until next Tuesday's meeting and adjourn today's meeting. I will ask the members of the public who have been waiting patiently, who have sat here, to come up to my office, and I'd be more than happy to meet with you and discuss the issues in my conference room. But for matters of security, we will need to adjourn today's meeting.
Mr. President, so we're not vacating the building, we're just vacating the
We're
chamber.
not vacating the building, just this section of the building. So again, those of you, members of the public who waited so patiently to address the council, you're invited to my office on room 465. But this meeting is now adjourned.